Good afternoon, boys and girls, Speedway lovers from all around New Zealand, all around the world, we believe. Welcome. We are here at Woodford, Glen Speedway in Christchurch. It's a beautiful day. We are here for the Battle of the Stocks, one of the premier races in the calendar for the South Island, really. My name is Bianca. I'm going to be your presenter tonight. This is Ivan McPhail, and I would like to introduce him with a title that you hold here at Woodford Glen, but you wear so many hats, I'm not quite sure how to introduce you.
Yeah, I'm the club president here and help out do the commentary. This is one of the better meetings that I like to help out with, ex-super stock driver and stock car driver. Hey, it's a big night, and on these guys' calendar, it's probably behind the New Zealand champs and the 240, the next one to be coming to, you know.
And at the minute they're just being called in for their driver's briefing, but we have quite a bit to talk about. We'll try and wrap it up really quickly. Traditionally we have a format of best pairs in super stocks and stock cars, but we have a little addition to that tonight, Ivan.
Yeah, we do. So we've had Battle of the Stocks have been best pairs for the super stocks for a number of years. The last time we ran it, we brought in the stock cars, 15 North Island, 15 South Island, they pair up. Tonight, Wellington top 10 have come on board, and there's going to be a highest points for a stock car and super stock that are going to be randomly drawn and paired up, so that brings extra to it. So we've got a busy old weekend, really.
And we can't forget too, we've also got a whole heap of mini stocks here tonight as well.
Yeah, so we've got a mini stock deal on over the weekend, because a lot of these North Islanders bring their kids down. So we've put on a deal for the mini stocks. Tomorrow night I think we've got Canterbury Super Saloon champs as well. I think Peter Bengston's running in that. Craig Carball, their cars are still in the South Island. So yeah, it's going to be a wicked weekend.
I mean, in terms of what Canterbury has to offer as well, this is huge that we've got all of these North Island drivers down, especially with the stress and the hassle and getting along with the ferries. We had Mr. Chad Ace arrive literally 5 minutes ago, and he did really well to get here on time.
Yeah, he did. He rang Steve, our promoter, about 3:30. He was still in Kaikoura and said, I might be late. The board had already made a decision. We had spoken last night. If we had to delay the start of the meeting till 7 o'clock, that's what we were going to do. It's about the competitors, and these ferries are an absolute pain in the rear end. I was with the Crushers 2 weeks ago when we went to Huntley, and it was nervous just trying to get across, let alone coming home.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course we're going to hold the meeting because we don't want to put any added stress on the weekend already. But hey, listen, these drivers are in getting a briefing. We're talking, so we're probably in their ear at the minute. What we're actually going to do for everybody is we're going to cut very shortly back to some music, maybe some ads, but we're actually going to bring to you live the draws. So what's going to happen is each stock car driver, each super stock driver is going to go and grab. Last time it was a handle. I'm not sure what they're using to do the draw this time.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, and I think it's the South Island guys this year get to go and pick, it might be a handle or a mug or something, and it's normally sponsored by Suck It Up, it's one of their ones, and they will have a number underneath it, and it will be who their partner is for the weekend, so it's quite cool.
Hey, if we were talking about dream pairs, who's your dream pair for the super stocks and the stock cars?
Dream pair, you couldn't probably go past either Harley Robb and Thomas Stanaway. Thomas is fast here. He's been here plenty of times. Don't underestimate Quinn Ryan. He's been here quite a few times as well. So Quinn Ryan, Malcolm Natai, they'd be an ideal pairing. But you have a look through the field. You got the Ashtons, you got the Joblins. They're all fast. So, mate, it's as good a field as what you saw last weekend in Huntley.
Absolutely, and we can't discount the Levines as well. They've made the trip down from Wellington, of course. If I remember rightly, now this is going back 2 years, Ivan, the pairs, I believe we had Harley Robb and Kendall Ashton, Malcolm Natai and Wayne Hemi. Now, that was a pairing.
Yeah, it was. And to be fair, anybody that gets Malcolm Natai, because he's been on the top in the Canterbury area for a while now, but now we've got Harley Robb's banging on his door. Hey, don't forget Jaden Ward's here, Sauce running the other car. Then you've got the young Berry boys, you've got Zach and Caleb West. They're going along. So the growth here in Christchurch is really good, and these big meetings helps those guys out.
Absolutely, and I wanted to talk also really briefly about Tim Ross. Of course, he's got the G on his car, but holy smoke, if there was anyone that I would pick for my dream pair, I'd put him pick number one.
Yeah, well, he's got a really good setup now too. He's got that new car, and what a lot of people didn't, well, they may know, he brought Malcolm's old car out of here in Christchurch, which has got a really good Morrison Toyota V8 in it, and it's obviously a good package, and Tim's doing really well with it, winning the GP, and he's going fast. He knows this track.
Yep. He does. He's raced here a lot of times here before though, hasn't he? Was this his home track?
Yeah, it was. It was his home track before he moved to the North Island. His father, Peter Ross, ran here for years. So, yeah, they know this place back to front.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's probably enough talking from us. We want to leave a little bit of a surprise with these teams when it all starts to happen. So like I say, we're going to cut away to some ads, maybe some music, Michaela's choice, whatever she's in the mood for. But we'll come back to you live when the boys are actually in here doing their pairings. So, yeah, give us a couple of minutes. We're probably about 10 minutes away, you reckon?
Yeah, about 10 minutes, I'd say. The referees will be spelling it all out, the stewards. We'll come back shortly.
Yeah. Awesome. Cheers, guys. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, so as promised, I'm down here in the pits and I've met up with Tim Ross. Now he was down hiding from me down when the Joblins camped, so we've had to drag him back here. But Tim, you're paired up with Jaden Ward. It's probably the dream team of the Superstocks. I mean, you've got a big smile on your face. You're pretty happy about your pairing?
Yeah, pretty rapt day, especially coming here. It was my first time in the North Island group, and to pull out Jaden, you can't really complain too much, can you?
Heck no. Hey, tell us, how are you feeling? This is your home track, obviously. We were talking you up in the intro. Quite a popular driver amongst everybody at home. But tell us, is it good to be back? You're a little bit nervous? I mean, this is a funny shaped track compared to what you've been driving on in the North Island.
Oh, no real nerves. It just is what it is. You just go out there and see what happens. You've just come off a New Zealand title in Huntly, so you can't really worry about it too much, just get into this, and then when you've got Jaden as your pair, you've just got to latch on the back of him and just keep going and try to get the points when he gets them all. So,
hey, so I managed to actually get your pairing, but I didn't manage to get your grid. Do you know where you're starting from in your first race?
I think we got 10, so I don't know if that's row 10 or grid 10, so either it'll be 21 and 22 or will be 9 and 10.
We'll try and find that out for you, because I'm not quite sure. I'll task that job to Michaela and Jess, who are in there, and as soon as they get back to me, they're thinking, oh God, Bianca, I'll let you know. But hey, here's our list here of pairs. If you were to pick one pair in here that makes you a little bit nervous, who would that be?
Oh, there's probably two. Natai and Scotty, and Harley and Simon, both going to be pretty hard to beat, I'd say.
I mean, no matter who you pair Harley up with, it's always going to be a big ask to beat them. But hey, listen, if we just check over to the stock cars, Harley and Sheldon are pairing. What the heck's going on?
Yeah, that's good, eh? I was standing next to Sheldon and he was like, who's left? Because he doesn't know all the drivers. I was naming them out and he was just like, oh, yeah. But it's good. It's good for him. Good for Sheldon. He's one of my good mates, so it's good to see him get a good pairing, and hopefully he can sneak through Harley as well. So.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, Tim, I know that I promised you a short and sweet interview, so I'll let you get ready. We're going to make our way over to the Ngātai camp now, so we'll go and see if we can stir some trouble before the racing starts, hey?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey, cheers, Tim. Hey, guys, follow us over. I've already caught up with Malcolm very quickly tonight, but we'll head over here. We've actually got Darryl Wallace, and, of course, his pairing is Quinn Ryan. There's another really good pairing, of course, Darryl Wallace. Down here, I can't see him right now, but we might be able to head over to Quinn Ryan, who's not too far over there. But let's see if we can find Malcolm Ngātai. He's another one. He sees me and he's out of here real quick. We've got Megan over here. No, she's saying I don't know where he is either. Let's see if we can find the man of the hour, Harley Robb. Always away. They run off and left me. I can't find anyone down here. Hey, I tell you what, follow me real quickly and come over here, because I can see that Quinn Ryan's over here. So we'll boot it across the other side of the pits. You have to bear with me, guys. So if you were watching the New Zealand title last week, Quinn Ryan had a nasty rollover. He was fine, of course, but the roll cage was a little bit buckled. I've spoken to him already today, and he said, yeah, Bianca, we're okay. Oh, here's Malcolm Ngātai here. What's he doing over here? He's good to go. A few long hours in the garage course, but he's good to go. I'm just going to grab Malcolm. Malcolm, how are you doing? Nice to see you. How are you? Good. Hey, Malcolm, say hello to everybody at home. We come down to talk to Quinn Ryan, but he's not here, so we're grabbing you instead.
Oh, Quinn's on his way back. He's a bit of a TV star, Quinn. You normally see him on some dating program or something. Hi, Ricky Bobby. It's not come down. Shame for that, but hi to everyone at home. The looks average weather here at the moment, but it's normally a quieter night tonight. Tomorrow night's a big night, so it should be good.
Now, Malcolm, if we have a look over back at your side of the camp over here, you've got some really talented drivers in your camp. They've paired up some really good drivers. You're going to be the favourites, I'm sure, to bring this home tomorrow.
Well, I reckon I was in the meeting. There's at least 7 top pairing that I'd be worried about. So, it's really mixed up really well this year, and it's just by fluke, so it's really good.
Malcolm, here's our list here. Who have we got you paired with? Oh, yeah, Scott Joplin, of course, that's why you're over here. Simon! Oh, I put Scott.
Scott.
Oh, gosh, I was going to say.
Yeah, it is Scott, yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
And, of course, I mean, Scott Joplin, I mean, both the Joplins, whether it's Simon or Scott, they're still a pretty good picking for you, eh?
Yeah, pretty good. Scott's a good hard hitter, and between us we might knock a few around tomorrow night and get through, but just tonight try and get some points and so try and get in that top 12 shootout, and if you're not in that you sort of get pushed back a bit, so I know us two might stir it up if we're not in that.
How come? We don't expect anything less from you. Tell me, if you are top on points tomorrow, you get the option from starting from the front or the back. What are you going to choose?
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, no, Malcolm, come on, tell me. It's all right. Whisper in my ear later.
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
Hey, Malcolm, what's happening here? We've got everyone coming out for a grand parade.
We've got the grand parade, yeah.
Yep.
So
I'll let you run back over to your car and we'll see you out there, all right, Malcolm? Cheers, thank you. Guys, it's getting really noisy and loud. Rowdy down here. All the cars are coming out onto the field for a grand parade, so we'll cut away for a quick minute and we'll bring you some more action shortly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome along to Coken Woodford Glen. If you're here in the stadium, welcome along on a slightly cloudy Friday evening. If you're watching the live stream, you see the cars starting to come out of the pit gate for the beginnings of the Grand Parade. And tonight, of course, it's the Battle of the Stocks, brought to us by Suck It Up. Night 1 tonight, night 2 tomorrow night. 6 best pairs races for 32 super stocks. The same for 32 stock cars. We've got a few other events on the programs as well. There's youth mini stocks racing for trophies both nights. We've got the Canterbury Super Saloon Championship tomorrow night. That's Saturday night as well. So there's plenty to keep you entertained in between the crash and bash races as well. Joining me in commentary, Jared Toynton and Ivan McPhail. You saw Ivan on the live stream earlier. Jared, welcome along. One of your favourite meetings of the season, no doubt.
No, it certainly is. It's going to be an awesome night tonight. Of course, Friday night here at Coken Woodford Glen, and one of the things we'll probably end up talking about is what's over the weekend is how bad the weather has been to Speedway in general. And for those of you that have seen the weather reports for Christchurch and go, oh, they're running a bit of a risk tonight. Yes, we are. but for those of you at home watching on the Pits TV, you can actually see these horrible black clouds that have gone around through the back of North Canterbury with thunder and lightning and everything very, very frightening. And they certainly have, because certainly out where you live, Tony, that's a bit damp. But somehow, and we'll put it down to divine intervention, we have kept a dry palace here at Coken Woodford Glen.
Yeah, the big fella likes his Speedway, and I think, he likes his Woodford Glen, he likes his Battle of the Stocks anyhow, and so it has stayed fine here. There is a bit of cloud around. I wouldn't rule out the possibility we might see 1 or 2 sprinkles of rain later, but it's only a pretty small possibility, and certainly not as much as was falling out of the sky when I left home earlier this afternoon. You would not have raced in my backyard. Not that I'd have let you anyway, but with the weather as it was earlier today.
Got to find somewhere to test.
Yeah.
Now, with the Grand Parade, in theory, the drivers are meant to go around with their peers.
Right.
But this has definitely not happened so much this evening. So what we will talk about is all the various events that are happening tonight. So, of course, this meeting is brought to us courtesy of Suck It Up. It is the 28th Battle of the Stocks. Paired up drivers racing for those massive trophies that we have.
6 foot tall trophies.
They certainly are. They are massive trophies. They're probably the biggest trophies in Speedway. It is a Christchurch car paired with a visiting driver, both in stock cars and super stocks. Of course, we roll through to tomorrow night, and it's being a best pairs event. The top on points go through the top 10 shootout. Now, there's been lots of things that have happened over the years in that shootout, which has made it particularly cool.
Yep.
And this is brought to us courtesy of TWS, Technical Welding Services. And each year, the guy who gets pole gets the opportunity, the driver that gets pole, they them us, gets the opportunity to run off the back. If they win it, they get the jackpot from the year before. Currently, super stocks are sitting at $3,000,
yes,
and the stock cars are sitting at $1,500 for one race, 10 laps off the back against 10 other cars. It's worth it for $3,000. But also, throw into the equation, Wellington Top 10 Holiday Park have done the super pair. So the super stock driver is paired with a stock car driver. So not only are they racing in pairs, they're racing in pairs again, but across grades. So and there's there's money up for that. So there's $1,000 for the best pairing.
The only thing about that is the stock car driver can't actually help the super stock driver win that, can he? Because it's a separate race.
No, see, this
How
is,
would that work? Have you thought this through?
Yes, I have. Because believe it or not, cars get damaged. Cars need working on.
Right.
You share crews and you make sure your cars get out.
Okay.
So then on top of that, Zeal Construction have gone in, and that, of course, that's Mike Hislop and his team, have gone on and they've got Superstock Entertainer and Standout Driver of the Weekend, and there's a prize for that.
And it's a big prize too.
It's worth $1,000. Then we also have Best Presented Youth Mini Stock and Most Persistent Effort Youth Mini Stock Driver. Good Lord, Tony, we are throwing everything at this event for the mini stocks, well, youth mini stocks, for the stock cars and the super stocks. And then, of course, all of that, we're still racing for the trophies for the best pairs of Battle of the Stock for stock car and super stocks, and individual points for stock cars and super stocks. So there's a lot on the go. We have got 32 cars starting each race in stock cars and super stocks. It's going to be chaos. This track's big enough, it's ugly enough, it can handle it. And we are looking forward to those of you at Turn 1 are probably looking forward to having some visitors into the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I will say, there is nothing quite like the sound, the noise, the roar, the rumble of 32 super stocks dropping the clutch and absolutely going for it off the start line at the beginning of the first race of the night. It is an awesome sound. It's a sound that you'll be lucky to hear anywhere else in the country, because there's not many opportunities to have a 32 car field in New Zealand Speedway.
Many years ago I was standing on the infield on the podium with a young driver by the name of Richard Taylor, otherwise known as Richie Taylor.
Oh yes.
And we were standing there. It was I can't even remember what the event, why we were standing there, but we watched the final heat of the Battle of the Stocks from the podium, and that's when the likes of Stan Hickey, Shane Penn, Sharky was here with the Tri-Rail. There was all sorts of guys that have been. I'm not sure if even Barry Brzezinski might have been racing.
He was a regular visitor at the time.
I remember
Murray Hobbs was another one who won it, I think, early on.
I remember standing on the podium and Richie Taylor leaned over and went, "These guys are nuts. Look at how fast they're going into that turn one." I went, "Richie, you realise you go faster, don't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't hit." Well, not intentionally. It is an epic feeling if you're on the infield. Not that anybody in the crowd will have that, unfortunately, but it will be some of the fastest super stock racing in the country. Of course, as you get past the end of our grandstand, you're pretty much maxing out what our super stocks can do at any track in the country, and then you're turning it into the tight bend, which we call Enviro Waste, which is the Kaiapoi end of the track, and that is a
maximum deceleration, really, isn't it? Yeah.
That is a tight corner when you go in there with 32 cars.
It's tough on brakes, isn't it, for these cars on this track?
It's tough on concrete.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And as Ivan pointed out before, this event isn't a huge crash and bash event. It's not a teams racing. It's best pairs, but it's not a teams racing event. No. But the racing is very fast and very hard. And one of the reasons, I know it's been said in the past, the North Island drivers just love to come here and do this meeting, is because it's the fastest in terms of outright kilometre per hour speed that they can race at all season.
There's a number of things with this event. One, there's not a lot of animosity amongst the drivers in the pits.
No.
So you go to New Zealand Title and there's always a them and us.
Yep.
Except for except for the last one. Like they were all one branded chassis that qualified.
They were all us.
But over the years, you go to and you don't know who's. These guys race against each other. It's a pretty, I won't say generic, but it's a pretty familiar group of faces for Battle of the Stocks, because it's an invite only. You hold on to your invite with that, and if the Joblins are probably the best example of it over the years. You get your invite, and then from that invite, if you can't make it, you can pass it on to another competitor with the promoter's permission. And by doing so, you retain your spot. And we've seen that over the years with the Joblins. I think they put Dale Robertson in 1 year. They've had other people drive their cars. It's an invite-only event. And it's an epic invite-only event. It is going to be some of the best super stock racing. It will be racing, make that point clear.
Yep.
It's not a team's race.
That's right.
So
it's out and out fast racing. It's hard racing. There's no quarter given. Because over 6 heats, you really do want to maximise your points. You don't want to have a DNF. You do want to make sure that you make up every single place you can during a race.
Well, it wasn't that many years ago that Russell Tutor got dragged into Battle of the Stocks in a stock car, and he putted around on that pole line for 6 races.
Yep.
And he and his pair came home 3rd overall.
Yes.
Now, he definitely didn't have the pace of some of the top super stocks that were here, but he finished races. So there is that element of importance. You do need to finish races. That is the important part. And so some of the pairings, we're going to give them to you shortly when they come through, but we were in the club room when they were being drawn. There are some powerhouse pairings, and of course that is going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of nights. Of course, around the countryside, we know that there is supposed to be modifieds racing at Huntly tonight.
Not sure how well that's going.
I do know how well that's going. I saw some pictures, so we wish our competitors who are up there all the best, and don't get too soggy or covered in clay. But we look like we're getting ready. The youth mini stock are in the chute, and we will be back racing shortly on Pick and Tony.
I would say so, for within a few minutes. So let's see what the pits have got lined up for us, and we'll be back to talk to you very soon.
Youth as our adults mini stock, so it's the over 16-year-olds, maybe not maturity-wise, are out there for their first race of the night. This race brought to us courtesy of a Marionette. And they've just been told by the referee not to touch, and they're snookering each other. Actually, it's the father and son doing that to each other at the back end of the day.
Even before the race has started.
That's great. As we look, the green's in the starter's hands. We are away and racing. The 17 car will lead us down to turn 1 with the 15 of Watermouth coming into second, past the 84 of Hawley. We head down, we've got a little bit congested going in there. We tried to go 5 wide, didn't we, Tony? Didn't really work.
When you hear that clang of mini stock on mini stock, you know it's not quite gone right.
Well, or has it? Why do you build a car that looks like a stock car and you're not allowed to hit with it? Does not make sense. Anyway, as we come through, Bright still in the lead. The one who's making the moves through there, actually spinning to the infield, was Reece Marsden, is the 55 car, the current Canterbury champ, the 55 Greymouth car. As we look, Bright back to Hawley, Wildermuth with Bork actually coming through on the 55 car, absolutely flying through in the 24. And we go through, clocking up another lap. Not exactly rocket times. The first lap there was a 38 second, but 79 car Dempsey just spinning it.
Takes a while for the rubber band to wind up, doesn't it?
So it's there. Now we're dropped down to 27 second laps. We're still winding that rubber band up. But it is a little greasy, and they are cutting the top surface off the track. So as we head past the Valley Cars Warehouse Grandstand, it is the 17 of Bright, back to 85 of Hawley, the 15 of Watermouth, but Bork looks like he's coming through in the 24 car. And big push on the 24 car. And Shady coming through in the 93 with Glen Marsden, giving him a little tap in the wheel gate, just a little one, nothing. And Jack in the 197 coming through, so stepping up from the productions. Is that up, sideways, or backwards?
Up or sideways, I'm not
sure. Yeah. Speed-wise, I think it's actually back, but anyway, out in front, it is the 17 car of Bright.
It is an interesting thing, isn't it, that someone chooses to run in 2 budget classes? I'm not being critical. I mean, it's just an interesting choice for, if you were going to...
It's still cheaper than running a Saloon.
Yeah, it probably is. And he's spun up just for the hell of it anyway.
Well, there is that.
Yep.
But equally as much, it's about getting race time and not bursting the bank balance as we look over the far side. We've actually on the back marker... Actually, no, isn't it? I'm getting myself confused here. No, it isn't a back marker. The 85 car's lost a huge amount of speed and just gets collected in the front bumper by the 24 car. As the 93 flicks the 15 around, we've got 2 cars facing the wrong direction. They both found reverse. Well, we were going so well until we lost concentration, and then the drivers forgot about how to race.
Yep, it's all psychic.
Psychic or psycho. Anyway, the 17 car out in front, back to Marsden by the looks of it in the 87 with Shady in the 93 after all of that. Still clocking up the laps. We've got 5 to go. Boy, some of them are going to make a rough one of this. The 252 sliding on through on the 26 of Dempsey. Bork has fallen right back into the pack, but he did have that moment. Dempsey's right on his rear tail. Our race leader though, back past Mr. Whippy, past the Valley Cars Warehouse Grandstand. And they're heading down into Enviro Waste. So 17 car hopefully from his perspective, way to go. Scott Bright. That's Scott Bright, not Scotch Bright. And we move back to Marsden in the 87 with McCartney in the 93. Getting caught up in the back markers here. The 84 car? I was about to say taking a swing, but that was a bit...
No, I think it just got wobbly.
Yeah, and Marsden senses wobbliness very well. The man bun working really well for him tonight as he heads round through Enviroways. He's taken over the lead, but Shady's coming through in the 96, and Marsden's looking ahead going, oh, I've got to pass the 86 car. Can't hit it because I have to fix it. And McCartney... And so Shady and Andrew McCartney in the 93 in the race lead. Right on the back mark of the 86. He's got to make a move here, and no, Marsden's not going to be shy about it. And I think Bright's going to have a quick go here at Marsden as we come through Enviroways. White flag is out, so Shady just has to bring it home now. I thought Bright had this one in the bag, but I guess we cursed him along the way there, unfortunately, there, Tony.
Yeah, and a whole string of fastest laps just being set there, which would tend to indicate that the track's settling down a bit now.
Well, there's definitely a drive line in that mid to low part. Saloons are going to smooth it all out, but as we look over the back straight, into Enviroways goes the 93 car. It is going to be Shady for the checkered flag. You can see it, nothing between him and the line. Second place is going to go to Glen Marsden, and 17 of Bright will be third. And we managed to survive that one without destroying too many cars.
Yep, only one left on the infield after all of that, so that's for adult mini stocks, that's a pretty good result, really. Quickest lap was a 25.47 by Peyton Wilson on the 252 car.
And this is his second night in adults.
Yeah, so it's a good effort from Peyton Wilson there, but ended up finishing in fourth place, couldn't quite crack a podium spot there. Never mind. So that was Adult Mini Stocks, brought to us by Amuri.net, and all the technical issues in the background have been resolved according to the promoter, so we're ready to go with the rest of the program. Full steam ahead, which is good news.
Yeah, it's been a a few little hiccups along the way to start the meeting, but hey, let's get down to the way on Friday night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
It gets busier tomorrow night, there's no doubt about that.
It certainly does. And if we look to the pit chute, we have the Saloons.
Looks as though the water truck's going to come out for a quick sprinkle of water. I think we might pop out for a quick advert, pay some bills.
I thought you were going to say sprinkle of water, but
well,
okay.
I wondered if anyone was going to pick up on that. But we will be back very shortly.
It doesn't matter how hard the job is, we suck it up and get it done. No matter how dirty our hands have to get, we suck it up and get it done. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Out for suck's sake, suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Out for suck's sake, suck it up.
Suck it up and get it done with suckitup.co.nz.
Are you building a new commercial business or home? Or is it time that your existing premises had a repaint anywhere in the South Island? Then Anderton Decorators have you covered. From floor to ceiling, wall to roof, Anderton Decorators offer the latest techniques, equipment and technology to make even the hardest tasks seem simple. Anderton Decorators also has the expert team to take the frustration out of your next project. Call Shane today on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators. We have you covered.
Are the same chassis.
Yeah. Dougal McClimate's in the 22 car. Precious is out there. Steve Peterson in the 28. We're green. We're racing. We're away. And Billy Lee Woodhouse in the 117 car leads us away. Dad in the 71 car right on the tail there and looking a little bit quicker, but with quite a push on the front end of that car, unable to get the slingshot out of 2 that he would have liked. Ashton coming through quickly in that 116 car, keeping it tight down low. Billy Lee has washed out wide and lost the lead, so 1 lap gone, and Willie Woodhouse takes over the lead from Ashton Osborne in the 16 car. Billy Lee got wicked push there in that 117 car. Scott tucked in behind her, the McGlashan 22 car running the higher line. The 433 of Matt Peterson, that's the
dirty old Kruger.
The old Kruger chassis, yeah, which is went pretty well last meeting here at Coke and Woodford Glen, and he's starting to come through the field as well. He's got his dad on his tail too, the 28 Steve Peterson.
Dutchie.
Dutchie's back out on track and making it interesting, getting a little tap on the back for his trouble there from the 28 car. And near the back of the field we've got the 17 Stealth chassis and the 11 of McGlashan and Tony Mountford in the 8 car. So we're 3 laps into this 10-lap race for Saloons here at Coke and Woodford Glen, and Willie Woodhouse in the 71 Canterbury Roundwoods machine has got a handy enough lead over the 16 of Ashton Osborne, who drifts a little wide through 1 and 2 there. Gets some good traction out of 2 though. Get the feeling that he's just slowly closing on the 71 of Willie Woodhouse, but I doubt there's going to be enough laps left to do much about it. We're half distance now. Billy Lee holding on to 3rd place in the 117, then again back to the 22 of McGlashan, who's got the 72 of Dutchie closing in very rapidly on the back of him, and I would say Dutchie's probably the quickest car out there at the moment. Matt Peterson not far off the 72 of Scouten, and then we go back to the rest of the field further behind. So 6 laps completed, 4 remaining now for the 71 car of Willie Woodhouse. Just needs to bring this one home. He's got a handy enough lead over Ashton Osborne, and it's a long gap back to the 3rd place of car of Billy Lee. He's going to have to work hard to keep Dutchie behind her there. The 72 car absolutely singing on this track at the moment. He's making good forward progress. There's another lap ticked off, just a couple to go now for Willie Woodhouse. Ashton Osborne holding on to 2nd place, and here comes the battle for 3rd, side by side across start finish. The 72 car around the outside looks as if it's gone the pass done on the 117 of Billy Lee. So Peter Scouten takes over 3rd place. He's got a long way to go to try and catch the 2nd place car of Ashton Osborne. So we're into the white zone, the final lap now. The 71 of Willie Woodhouse is going to come up on some lap traffic, but he doesn't need to worry too much about that because he's got a handy enough lead, and he's going to pick up the checkered flag. There it goes. A few seconds back to the 16 of Osborne, and quite a few seconds back to the 72 of the hard-charging Peter Scouten.
Well, Tony, if you can't handle on that race, it wasn't the track.
No, it looked pretty flat and good, didn't it?
Well, yeah, they've still a few of them a bit grizzly over the last track we said them, but hey, they'll get over themselves. Anyway, that was definitely a very, very quick race for the Saloons, getting down to 17.4, bearing in mind that the lap record for a Super Saloon is a 16.8.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're half a second off that, so they are well and truly on song in that race. Woodhouse started in the 3rd row, but 2 other cars parted seas. He shot through and he basically left them for dead. Clear track all the way through, so really good run there. Also Dutchie coming through from the back of the pack. Once he got a bit of clear air, boy did that 72 car go absolutely haul.
It really was, wasn't it? He was going super well.
And as of interesting note, of course, that car is for sale. Not the cheapest saloon in the country, but definitely probably in the top half dozen for speed.
So just to give you an idea, the lap record here for Saloons is held by Ryan Marsden. It's a 17.24.
Mate, we've had emails and phone calls going back right, and Steve's phone's been going red hot. And we've been coming up with plan A, B, C and D with what we're going to do if we had trouble. But hey, touch wood, we're here, we're racing. We've got a good quality field in both stock cars and super stocks. And as you know, Jared, this is as good as Christmas Day for me.
Yeah, you love this. It is, of course, it is being both a stock car and super stock and stock car competitor. Did you do Battle of the Stocks and the super stocks? Yes, you did.
I did Battle of the Stocks in the stock car.
Oh,
I was paired up with Shane Penn.
boy. I was going to say, did he look sideways and down and go, what?
I brought the car out just in case somebody lost a partner. And, Shane Penn lost a partner, and both of us ended up catching fire, believe it or not. So it was a hot pairing.
Oh, dear, that's a dad joke and a half.
Yeah, no, that was in when I had the Kruger.
The Kruger? Oh, that long ago?
That long ago, yep.
That car's seen some incarnations now.
Yep.
15C. James Thine, how does he race? He sold his car. Oh, that's right. He's
leased one for this weekend.
He's leased one for this weekend. He's got a new friend who's put him into a car, and he is in the car of David Ford, which is Harley Rob's car from last year, and he's paired with Will Hughes.
Nothing.
And we know that man can hit. Just remember the New Zealand title we're in Miani. Then the 991 of Harley Rob, he's got this young fella called Sheldon
guy out of Wellington.
Sheldon Perry. So that is the pairing I'm watching for. Arwood Johns in the 56C. He's paired with the 79 of Kyle Rowe. We've seen him down here before, very fast. The 74C of Tyler Horton is paired with the other Lamp brother, that of Taylor. Taylor. And that is gridded up. We're going to butcher some names tonight. We're going to butcher some points. But
and they're going to butcher some gear.
I hope so. It's so good when you're just watching other people do it. And, of course, the reserve for this Battle of the Stocks, for the stock car sitting in the pits, is the 9 car. We put that in the starter's hands, and we're pushing. No, and we're going. That's it. Not going to hit it. We head down to turn 1. It's a little bit greasy for the stock cars to head down there. A few cars decided they found with the pole line.
Some found the wall.
The 46 car washed straight to the wall. Red. We're on the brakes.
I would say they'll
Complete restart.
Yes, complete restart. And that's going to be, I'm going to say, bless his little cotton socks, Cam Taylor there got a bit carried away and just pushed his road.
And we don't go until the lights go green.
Apparently, yeah. For those of you at home that can hear the referees in our ears, those of you in the stadium, well, they've been told uncategorically you don't go until the light turns green. To be fair, though, if you are anything past about row 3 or 4 in the pack, you're moving with the car in front of you, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some of them get itchy trigger, and it just pushes the front ones forward. So.
And car 1NZ, that's your only chance. You've used it.
They're calling it Josh Walsh. The only problem was he was being pushed by car 56. Yeah. So it's good. It was right in front of the referee, so at least they saw it clearly.
That's easy. Just sit on the brake until you know.
Oh, that's funny. It's there was just a bad case of premature acceleration.
It's good to see we've got the 1 and 2 NZ down here.
Yep.
Nice looking car, isn't it?
The cars always look prettier once they've got 1 NZ on them, though.
But it was a nice looking car before he won the title.
It's certainly been an interesting season this year. Of course, we get the big wash of the new titles coming through, and in some cases, particularly like super stocks, not really changing, saving on sign writing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're now back in the starters' hands. And for those that didn't get a great start, they'll be pleased to let this one re-go. And we let him go again, and that's a whole lot different. And it is Wade Sweeting that leads us down to turn 1. Aris is in there with Pete on the outside. They push through. The 2-1-2 looks like it's all crossed up. He's been straightened up by Rondell. We get clear on the back straight, and we're already into the wall with Rondell trying to take Sturzacker into the wall. And Sturzacker will give him a twhack for his... He did. He fired him off the end. He let go of him, but he fired him towards the wall. And Sturzacker's gone back in. Kyle Rowe's been fired. We've got a parking lot down there at turn 4. Okay, so out in front, Sweeting's going to go... I'm just going to pull the ears back and go. We're not going to get caught up in this faff. We're all untangled down here. We'll see who's the hot heads out there. The 99 of Hughes, he's got going, but I think he's got a flat tyre out of all of that. So that's not how you want to start. And we're going to be into the back markers. Alwa Johns, who certainly is, I know, Will Hughes is going to be the first car picked up. He's looking to make, no, he's looked in his mirrors before he turned back down. He's trying to get to the infield. Oh, we've got the 46 car right. It was his sister. Tyler McPherson put his sister up the wall. Oh, that's going to be fun in the pits. Brooke McPherson got the wall right. She's parked on the front straight, and they're going to have to peel either side. This can only end one way, and it did. And again, now poor old Brooke. She knew she was going to get a twack there. Aris, I think he just was in the wrong spot. He's checking himself out. Harley Rob's just refiring, literally. But I got a funny feeling that's just fuel in the exhaust.
That'll be fuel. The E85, I'm assuming they're using the E85. It's an absolute mongrel to get going.
It's all coming. He's cranking it. I think
it's just fuel burning off.
It is. Well, it's actually no. He's shaking his head at everybody. But I got a funny feeling
he's shaking his head because the red didn't come out sooner.
Well, Brooke sat there for long enough, and that was a huge hit. I thought she was going over. To be fair, they're talking to her. She's okay by the looks of it. But Harley Rob, I think he's got the front corner of his car bent. He's not going to be too happy. He gets out of the car, throws the steering wheel at the car. As we watch the replay, courtesy of Pitsy, she sat there for a long time. Everybody peeled. Chris Wild, and then, he was actually tucked in behind Aris, and Aris actually full noted her. So Aris was the one that, and so he was sitting there adjusting his mirrors after the hit. You can actually see the wing on his car's twisted on its mounts. But we watched what actually happened to her.
She was up high.
Her brother just clobbered her and stuck her in. That's an awesome shot. And we're going to go back racing again. Well, McPherson rolls to the infield. Our race leader, where is he? He's past the Valley Cars Warehouse Grandstand. He's got the 1NZ behind him and the 8 of Pete. A few pairings are starting to get the damage now, but the 8 car of Pete, he's right on the heels there of the 1NZ. Gives him a big hurry up going into one. There's a big gaggle of cars coming through Enviro Waste at the other end of the track, and they're starting to get a bit pushy and niggly in the middle of that. As Sweeting, he just keeping that car low through Enviro Waste. The track's got a little bit of a cut line, about a car width out, and the stock cars just got to be careful they don't go in too hard, too sideways. Walsh following the lines, learning the track. He did overcommit down in. Barr looks like she's just spun herself. Don't know if she got any assistance out of all of that. The 44 car just slowed down the front straight for some reason. Barr rejoins on the front straight. Walsh takes over the race lead. Yeah, he's gone cunning. He's just gone up the inside. Barr there looks to join in to race these cars. Of course, sharing the bus with the 1NZ down for this weekend. As Walsh goes in very hot into Enviro Waste, and that's probably not your fastest line around there. Sweeting pops up the inside of him again. They head down the front straight. Sweeting has got him, and he just keeps him up high into that roughed up, cut up part of the track. Walsh will have the pace down the back straight, but I guess to be fair to say, he overcommitted going into Enviro Waste. Here he goes. Can he keep the car low? No, he just goes in so hot down there. The problem is you're entering that corner very, very fast. So the race is still on for first and second. Rondell's getting in there with the 44 car. The 56 of Johns, I think he's got a flat tyre. He's limping by the wall, but he hasn't got any clear track to get down across it at the moment. 3 wide down the front straight with Cleveland, Huggies and Horton. As the 82 car ricochets off the wall out of turn 2. Across the start-finish line, our race leader goes. So he's only got about a car length over the 151 of Sweeting. Might have seen enough carnage for this race as we look to race this one out. Going red. So that's got to be for debris on the track. 6 laps to go in this race, Ivan.
Yeah, and they're all starting to spread out a wee bit.
56C to the infield.
Okay, so that's for 56C to the infield. Now, to be fair to Awa, he's been trying
to get down.
56C to the infield.
This is when you know that the headsets are working or not. So they're just going to push the 56 car to the infield. He knows why. And that is a car that's for sale, which is remarkably cheap for what it is.
Exactly.
I'll be surprised if it's still in Christchurch after this weekend. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll be down one spare tyre, but...
Yeah. And the old right-hand side tyre pops up again.
That's a great roll, isn't it?
Let's not get into there. Let's just be happy.
We'll see whose favourite drivers are happy at the end of the weekend as we go racing once again. So, a few cars there. Just where's our race leader?
He's going through coming out of turn 2.
He is too.
He's opened up quite a bit on the 151.
Yeah, he's got about 4 or 5 cars between him and the 151. Pete back in 3rd, but Walsh just really commits into turn 3. He's got to be a little bit careful he doesn't get silly and someone just picks him up on that as he goes a bit wide coming off the corner. Blair Reeves Smith looking at him, back to Sturzaker. You wouldn't have picked at the start of this race that we'd be thinking Sturzaker and the 212 car were going to be picked up and passed as back markers. Pete's having a go now for 2nd. He goes up the inside, he got the line, he caught the rut and just flicked himself into the side of Sweeting. Sweeting though, back on it. And Stanley back to, I'd be picking it's the 4 and 5. The best points out of this pairings might actually be the 4 and 56.
What are they running at the moment? 3rd and 4th? 4th and 5th?
4th and 5th. So that's just nice. They're not hitting each other. And I think the 56 car is just following the lines of Braden Lennon. Of course, Braden's car, very, very quick on here. Now the 95 car, he's up by the wall limping, as the 15 car gets the hurry up from the 212. So the 1NZ out in front, past the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand. We go back to Pete in the 8A, back to the 151. It has been a messy little race so far. White flag out for the 1NZ of Walsh. It's amazing. You put 1NZ on your car and all of a sudden you go to a visiting track and you become a rocket ship. There's got to be something in the stickers. We go back to Pete. He's just sitting back. He knows he's in a safe spot. There's no point being heroic on race 1. The 95 car spun down at turn 2.
And he got collected by the 82 on the way through.
And it's cost Woodford Stanley a left front tyre. The race has been won by the 1NZ back to Logan Pete. Then we go back to the 151 of Sweeting. That is the race over and done as we just follow through for points.
So the 95, as you see there, got hit quite good.
He looks like he's got a fair bit of damage out of this race.
Yeah, it's not looking too flash for him. So
he just spun to the infield by himself.
So when we have a look, once the ELS rolls through, Josh Walsh takes the win there with the best lap time of a 21.055. And behind him was the 8A, Logan Pete, out of Auckland with a 21.37. Wade Sweeting in the 151, he comes home in 3rd place with a 21.46. Braden Lennon in the 4C, 21.31. Then we go back to his teammate, 56K, Cameron Taylor. He was in the mid-21s as well. Scott Tennant in the 2NZ car. Then we've got the Kane McDonald in the 69W. Sheldon Araperi in the 9W brings in the 8th. Then we go back to Kyle Lamp in the 772P car, knocking out a 21.15. And Craig Robb in the 991, he brings up the top 10. Fastest lap of the race was the 2NZ of Scott Tennant with a 20.82. So, and we just got the rest of the placings come through. Chris Waldley in the 11th in the 53. Kyle Rowe in the 79P in 12th. Jay Holtham 317 13th. 992P Taylor Lamp out of Palmerston North. He came in the 14th. 74C Tyler Horton in 15th. 136C Tyler McPherson. Then we go back to 88V Troy Cleveland in 17th. 15C James Thine in 18th. 15V Callum Sturzaker. And then 212 Blair Reeves Smith. That's your top 20.
Just watching on the track as they went over to the rescue crew went over to pick up the 95 car, and the steering wheel came well and truly out the window. I know that feeling.
So he's happy?
That's why you bring a spare wheel to the track. Anyway, we'll be back shortly. The youth mini stocks will be out, and there's a lot of them. We'll come back very shortly after a few ads, and we will be with the young'uns.
Welding Services Hamilton are specialists in the transit concrete mixer industry. From chassis drop-off to a full working concrete mixing, the team will take care of the job from start to finish. Full engineering services and general sheet metal work can also be undertaken. Need a quote? Call 07 847 2031 or visit our website www.techweld.nz. Technical Welding Services Hamilton, we are the experts.
Total Access is New Zealand's largest providers of access machines, scaffolding and height services. Total Access stand by their promise of reliable service, making easy access. With access machines of all types, Total Access have the small machines right up to New Zealand's largest, with a reach of over 56 metres. With locations all over New Zealand, give the team a call today on 0800 Hire Now or visit their website at totalaccess.co.nz. Total Access, where height is within your reach.
So the sun's come out as we go down the back straight, so a little bit of sunstrike for these guys. We're not an Indian file at all because we're supposed to be... No, we're not... Well, they did let them go.
They've
That's
gone
a joke.
green, but that's one of the worst starts I've ever seen in any grade of Speedway.
I would be picking we're going to have a yellow on the back straight. If we don't, it's... Well, we wait. No, the referees let them go. Well, that was horrific, just to say the least. The 52 car was the lead car. He's going out high and wide around Envirolace, but the rest of the pack just decided to bunch up and go all nuts.
Someone riding the wall there around turn 4.
Yeah.
It's the 971R car.
Oh, you have George Crawford out in front though. Oh, the 4 car has just given a thwack to this 52 car. So Clayton Dawson giving the 52 car a bit of a nudge, but Caelan Keith has taken over the race lead. So that's as we head down into Envirolace, it's you just sense that there's a little bit of over-aggressive driving in this. We've got some pretty paint jobs, and we're thinking we're going to be super stock drivers tomorrow night. As the 5 car gets swiped by the 79 car.
971 and 972 had a coming together there.
It's always good when you keep it in the family. Then we talk to the McPhersons. And as the 972 of Jimmy Crawford pulls to the infield, out in front, Caelan Keith back to Clay Dawson. And Dawson goes to the inside, up the into turn 1, catches a little bit of a rut there, bounces out to the 321 car as we look back to Joblin and the 26 car of Oliver McCartney. And the 4 car really just hammering him, but Caelan Keith, as the 58 has a battle there with, I'm having a weird noise on the outside, the 5T car of McDonald.
21N of Burson's coming through quickly too.
On the outside of Ashton. Yeah, it is kind of like commentating 15, 20 years ago.
It is, all these names of, they could be adults all racing in the same grade, albeit some of them were Super Saloon, some of them were Super Stocks.
Well, the Burson one was both.
And yes, some of them were both.
So out in front, it is the 4 car of Clay Dawson, back to Caelan Keith. Joblin in third, back to Burson actually now challenging for the spot here on, and he's going to turn the 26 car, or does he? No, he lets him go. Tag and release policy. In the middle of all that, we've got Cohen Wright in the 88. I reckon Moore's got speed on some of the paint jobs on these and sign writing on these cars, and the super stocks and that's red.
We've gone red.
Yep. 39 to the infield. 79 to the infield.
79 being sent to the infield, and that is Jacob Skur.
So it's actually quite tight at the top here. The top 6-7 cars in a little group here at the front of the field. Not much between them at all.
Doesn't matter what you spend, you'll always end up racing someone else out in front.
Yeah.
It is the 4 car back to Keith, Joblin, Worth, Wright coming in the 88, the 21 car of Burson, McCartney in the 26, and the 23 of Ashton. Some of these families need to show off car transport as in like the truck. As we look through the 5 car all over the back of the 31 down the front straight, but our race leader is the 4 car and has actually managed to get the 321, and Joblin's going to come back at the 321, and Burson's right there as well. Oh! Caelan Keith did the big bicycle, and I tell you, Burson just picked it, drove low, so did the 88 car.
That's one for the highlights reel.
Well, they did. To be fair to Joblin, he followed him and he did everything he could to keep it down and not run into him. That was actually some really good driving by all of them.
Yes, I agree.
Got to give them some dues. Out the front there, the 4 car. Who's going to do the same thing again? Oh, he hits the same. He did.
Hit the same rut again. Not quite the same outcome though.
Yeah, no, he's got goldfish memory on that one. McCartney's going, let's see if we just get up beside you and run you. Burson has got pace here. He's come through into second, and to be fair, he was given a couple of spots for that last moment or two, but he might have a challenge down into Enviroster under the white flag as everyone goes past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand. Caelan Keith takes a different line for some reason. The 4-car takes the race win, followed by Burson in the 88. And
almost 4 wide across the start-finish line there.
There was some very intense driving. I won't say aggressive, intense driving. I can see what Ivan's going to
It wasn't helped by the berms at either end of the track either, but we've been given points by the look of it for the first round of the Battle of the Stocks.
We certainly have.
This being the stock cars, not the super stocks.
As we're just looking through, we should come back to you shortly with these points for the stock cars before their next race. But they're taking out that race. It was the 40 of Clay Dawson. And
from Jack Burson, Cohen Wright, Keelan Keith, Flynn Ashton, Boston Joblin. That's a great name, isn't it? Oliver McCartney.
What, Joblin?
No, Boston.
Oh.
George Crawford, Isaac Chapman and Danica Island rounding out the top 10.
And I believe we have we may have an interview or two in the pits as we look through fastest lap with Jack Burson on 22 seconds. There's a little bit of a rut that a few of the drivers had to get used to.
I think we're going to quickly shoot down for an interview with Brooke McPherson.
Yeah, guys, I'm down here with Brooke. She's got a big smile on her face. We just wanted to come down and check on you to make sure you're okay. That was a bit of a hairy, scary moment down on the front straight.
Yeah, it was definitely scary, especially when my brother put me up and started it all. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
Good, good. Hey, have you spoken to me yet? That's going to be an interesting conversation.
No, I haven't. No. It's going to be tense when we get home.
We should follow you to see what you're going to say. Hey, listen, like I say, we just wanted to check on you, make sure you're okay. You're going to come out in the second race?
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I'm out for the rest of the night as we have bent my diff, so most likely out for the weekend now.
Do you know what? Just chalk it up to experience, eh?
Exactly. It's only my first season, so I'm just happy to have qualified for it.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, we'll let you go find your brother. Have those words. Cheers, guys.
Put the starter's hands.
We're away in racing. First heat of the Suck It Up Battle of the Stocks. Hippie Paul in the 91 takes us into turn one. Oh, and one of the Wests is just about over. We're going to go red. Caleb West just caught that rut and somebody just picked him up at the same time.
I think it was an overreaction on the red light. There's
Original positions. Thank you.
Fieldsy going around to give West
a push to get him going again.
So they all know the rut's there now. One in particular knows it really well. He fired and hooked the rut, and that was it. Did the big bicycle.
Yep.
You could just
He's
about
up and running again.
You just about hear Paul West just sucking air in down below.
So they'll line them back up again.
A few years ago when Heppy started out in stock cars, but when it was all one grade, he used to race the old pipe dream, the old pipe chassis. I'm trying to think of the history on behind it, but anyway, he got pole, and the very first night, or very first time he got pole, he ended up hanging off the fence at turn 1. And that was night 1. And about 2 hours before racing, he was still sitting at home on the sofa, and his partner's like, "You going to go racing tonight?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
don't want to go. It's too scary."
Yeah.
Now, of course, he is in the Higgins chassis with the big Nissan in it.
So they've just given them another lap before they grid them back up again. So they line them back up again for the restart of the first heat. First heat of 6 over the weekend.
It's a long way to go, and that would have been going through Zach's mind as he was up in the air.
Caleb.
Caleb. That's right, he was in Dad's car, isn't he?
Yep.
Mind you,
they're all in Dad's car.
Yeah.
They're all in Dad's car.
Actually, to be fair, most of them are in Dad's cars when you look through the group. But yeah, he would have been thinking this is going to be a long weekend if we're going to put this thing over in the first race.
So they're all lined up again. Brian, our flagman, gets ready. We're about to go green.
Oh.
Got some creeping.
They're going to back him up. They're going to flash. They're going to...
Itchy triggers.
Young Brucknell there, the car just slipping forward on the clutch. They've told them to back. Well, they've figured out they need to back up.
Back up, guys.
To be fair, they did this to the stock cars the other week and then started them as they were backing up.
Yeah, that's a bit untidy.
Back up.
The 99, BJ's Bakeries.
Back up, please.
Buckrell out of the bay. Clinch Automotive, Happy Paul.
There you go.
The 91.
He's either not hearing the referee or he's got no reverse, one or t'other. There we go, he's got reverse. Want to get quickly into first gear.
You don't want to be still in reverse.
To be honest, if it was in the Hilux, I want to get off the track too.
And we're away and racing again, take 2. As they go down into the first corner. Some go low, some go a bit higher. They all manage to get through the first corner. As they go down the back straight, the 91 of Happy Paul. 422, Ashton just gives him the bumper.
He's hauling.
Man, that thing is fast. As he comes down the front straight, first lap done. 422, Ashton. He's going above that high line on that rut, as they all are. Eulenberg's in the middle of that pack as well in the 28. Here comes the 46 of Levine there. Back up to the front. Ashton in the 422's leading us. Kendall Ashton in the 23 just gets going again. So we've got Ashton in the 422. Then we go back to 91, 99B, Buckrell. Jaden Ward in the 971. Lloyd Jennings. Joblin in the 52. Then we go back to Levine in the 46. West in the 34. Here comes Tim Ross.
Up the wall! Berry up the wall. He's going to get collected.
Oh. I tell you what, the 95. Alex Hill did a massive job to avoid him. Berry's pulled back out into the track. He's trying to get off again. Alex Hill saved a lot of heartache there, but he's about to get a lap down, is he? Ashton in the 422. He's coming through, another lap. Then we go back to Jaden Ward in the 971. Eulenberg in the 28. Then we go back to Buckrell in the 99. 52, Joblin on his inside. Levine in the 46. Then we go back to 87. Thomas Stanaway out of the bay. 144G. Tim Ross, then Lloyd Jennings from Christchurch. Adam Groom in the 9 coming through next. Then we go back to West, and there's a big pile up of cars as they come out of turn 4. They're about 4 wide. We've got Simon Joblin, Levine the 5. Then we've got Joblin in the 62. Harley Robb in the 991. Malcolm Nartai. Quinn Ryan. But our race leader, let's get back up the front. Jaden Waters seemed to have taken over the lead in the 971. Just about to go under the 95, is he? Jaden Ward leads us as they go down the back straight. Over Ashton in the 422 out of Rotorua. Blair Eulenberg has made up some great ground in the 28. Then we go back to Buckrell in the 99. And behind Buckrow as they come off turn 4, Thomas Stanaway, Starship Foundation sponsored machine. Then we go back to Joplin in the 52. And behind him, Tim Ross in the 144. Then we go back to 25, Lloyd Jennings, Adam Groom. Then back to Simon Joplin, Harley Robb, Malcolm Nartai. Then we go back to Quinn Ryan, Chad Ace, Daryl Wallace. But our race leader just getting tagged with a car. Cam Ranger's got half turned round, sitting in the middle of turn 2 there. But our race leader, Jaden Ward, comes into turn 3. Ashton half spun round, he'll get squared up. No, we've gone red. Picking the reds for the 999.
Wow.
He just got half spun up in turn 2, squared up a bit by Jaden Ward in the 971.
Yeah, Ward is fast. We know Ward's fast, but where did Dylan Ashton find that turn of speed in those first 3 laps?
Mate, he's quick. That thing is quick.
Did something roll off the dash and land on the accelerator and keep the foot pinned, because he was hauling. Erlenberg's come through nicely into that second spot at the moment.
Bryce Stein is sitting in there as well.
And whilst he's a lap down, the 95 car directly in front of us, of Alex Hill, he saved a lot of heartache. He could have put the 23 car in hospital for the weekend. He did everything he could to avoid it.
And he did well to manage to avoid Peter Fields on the infield as well. It was parked there, but he managed to swerve and avoid him as well. So
some awesome driving going on by one or two of these guys. They're going to get out of the cars at the end of this race and know they've been in a race. It is fast. Of course, you're getting a little bit of sunstrike.
And we're away and racing again. What do we got? 6 laps remaining. Jaden Ward in the 971. He leads us coming out of turn 2. Taken over the second spot now is the 28. Blair Eulenberg out of Stratford, sponsored by Eulenberg Transport. Bryce Steiner on the outside. Ashton in the 422R. Oh, he just went up the inside and got turned round a bit. He's got going again, has he? He's lost a ton of placings. But our race, everybody's manages to avoid him at this stage. He's away. So our race leader, he's virtually dropped a lap. He'll be gutted with himself. Our race leader, Jaden Ward, comes past us again in the 971. Second spot will be Eulenberg in the 28. Then behind him, I'm picking as Bryce Steiner in the 118. Then we'd go back to Thomas Stanaway in the 87, Tim Ross. Then we'll go back to Lloyd Jennings, Adam Groom. Then the 2 Joblins, the 52 and 72. And behind the Joblin brothers will be Jacob Buckrow in the 99. Behind Buckrow, we will have Harley Robb in the 991, Quinn Ryan in the 46B car. Then we go back to Daryl Wallace, Malcolm Nartai, Chad Ace, Zach West. But our race leader just comes past us again. Jaden Ward, Eulenberg in that 28 car. He's picked up some nice speed. Then I'm picking, let's go back. I'd say Thomas Stanaway's probably just picked up that 3rd spot by passing Bryce Steiner. Tim Ross is sitting there and behind them. Steiner went up high. Jaden Ward, white flag. As they go round turns 1 and 2, some back markers coming into play. Eulenberg just splits the 47 and 79 as they go down the back straight. Thomas Stanaway, I'm picking, sitting in that 3rd, coming under a bit of pressure from Tim Ross. But our race winner, first heat of the Suck It Up Battle of the Stocks, 971, Jaden Ward. I'd say Eulenberg in for second. Then we'd go back to Tim Ross, Thomas Stanaway, Steiner. Then I'm picking Adam Groom, Joblin. Wait for the ELS to roll over. Thomas Stanaway, Adam Groom, Scott Joblin, Harley Robb, Simon Joblin, Jacob Buckrow, Adam Joblin.
Now, bear in mind that 144 of Robb and 971 of Ward are paired.
Yep.
So 1st and 3rd. Not bad when they started 5 rows back on the 6th row of the grid.
I tell you what, if you're looking at the on the live stream and you're looking at the fastest lap time, I'd be going to buy a Chad Ace motor. 13.60.
A modified lap record's 15 something. So yeah, that may
Chad Ace is selling engines with those lap times.
I'd say you'll even sell you the chassis to go with it. Anyway, it was Jaden Ward though. The man's all class when you put him in a race car. Maybe a little untidy outside the car, but in the car he has an absolute rocket ship on wheels.
Yeah, and okay, those guys worked out where it was. They avoided the ruts. Some of them went underneath it. Yeah, there's a rut there, but they all know where it is, and they've taken the high line, and there was some still good fast racing. Looking at some of the lap times, Jaden Ward did a 19.67, a 19.72.
Yeah, a lot of the high 19s.
A lot of high 19s.
Malcolm Knight, a 19.3, that seems optimistic.
What you think you do with your four-wheel drive. What you actually do with your four-wheel drive.
No matter what you do with your four-wheel drive, we've got the right tyre for you. So come on down to Mag and Turbo.
Hi, Malcolm Nardo from Suck It Up. We specialise in hydro excavation in the Canterbury region, safe dig methods around services. Also we do septic tank cleaning, drain cleaning, CCTV of your pipes. If you want an excellent service, please check us out on Facebook.
Suck It Up Limited, 740 Marston Road, Christchurch. Call them 24 hours a day on 027 588 8809.
I don't know if there's been much racing in the Garage 16 Medium Modified Championship in Huntly tonight.
I'll have to have a look on Bookface and see if there's any updates.
Managed to get started. That was certainly looking a bit wet earlier on. Anyway, there's Laura Weir in the 92 car leading us away. You have to stand on tiptoes. Look over the monitor.
I should just look at the monitor.
Just look at the monitor. That's what everyone else is looking at. So Laura Weir in the Can-Do Fishing car has got a slight lead over Team Marsden there. Glen and Reese in second and third place respectively in the 87 and 86 cars. The 197 of Jack coming through there in the 24 car of Bright as well. And then we go back to the 55 GM, Tom Harris, winner of the Canterbury Mini Stock Championship just a few weeks ago. 79 machines in the mix there as well. Always looks very smart and well presented, that car. We go back to the 26 machine, which is Grant Dempsey. Peyton Wilson, who set the fastest lap in the previous heat, is there or thereabouts as well. And the 93 of Shady is coming through from near the back of the field. So let's go back front side now, and the car's just bumping around that rut a little bit through turn 4. But Laura Weir has this race by the scruff of the neck. And speaking of scruffy people, yep, Glen Marsden, you got my joke. You took my joke away from me there. I'm Glen Marsden in second place, a solid second at the moment, a long way back to the battle for third, which at this stage has just been taken by the 24 car. I think he's got ahead of Reese Marsden, the 86. Yep, that's Jordan Bork in the 24, who's got into a clear third place now. Sam Jack coming through in the 197 as well. Reese Marsden coming back at him. And near the front, you'd have to say Glen Marsden is closing on the back of Laura Weir. So this is going to be interesting. We're about to tick off halfway through the race. 5 laps down, 5 to go. Can Glen Marsden do something he probably hasn't done for many years? Make a pass on the race leader. Let's see.
She's opened up a wee bit of a gap.
She has. She's running a slightly higher line on the track. As the track drying out a little bit, and all of the mini stocks are tending to edge out higher and higher as the track dries out. They're wanting desperately, of course, to avoid that rut through, at both ends of the track, where there's a slight inner wall, a lip, if you like, on the track there that would really unsettle these smaller tired cars, lighter cars. They're all doing a pretty good job of avoiding that. They've got it dialed into their heads now that they need to run high through the turns, and and that in turn is taking it high on the straights as well. Here comes Marsden. He's forced to go a little bit low to try and find the opportunity to get past Laura Ware, and it doesn't work for him. And here comes Jordan Bork closing on the back of Marsden, and Marsden's suddenly going to find he's under pressure in his second place. We've only got 2 laps to go now as they go across start-finish. Laura Ware's got to negotiate the 84 car there of Emmy Hawley, who's at the first back marker she's coming across. And the 87 of Marsden gets a slingshot round the outside as Laura Ware has to hesitate slightly and takes over the lead. Now we see what Laura Ware is made of. Can she come back at the 87 of Marsden? 24 of Bork's in the mix there too. The other Marsden in 4th place. We're in the white zone, just the one to go. It's a tight finish in this adult mini stock race. We've got a spinner there. Sam Jack, the 197, spun to the infield. Glen Marsden under a lot of pressure. Laura will keep the foot up it through this turn, but that run forces the line they have to take, and therefore what they can do. And Glen Marsden, courtesy of that pass, a couple of laps before, takes the race win. Just ahead of Laura Ware and Jordan Bork in 3rd place. The quickest lap was, in fact, by the spinner, a 22.2 by Sam Jack earlier in the race.
And you'd have to give credit to Laura Ware. That was a good race.
It was a good
because
race.
Glen Marsden has done a heap of laps in these cars and come back out and racing again with his son. So yeah, it's a really good drive. He's raced these cars for quite a few years now, and been around the mini stocks.
Mind you, Laura's name's been in mini stocks for quite a few seasons now too.
She's a bit of a seasoned campaign, but nowhere near the seasoned bracket of ex-president.
Of ex-club president Glen Marsden, the blind man himself. Oh, blind cleaner, sorry.
There we go.
There we go. All right, well, down in the pits, I believe we've got Jaden Ward lined up.
Pull you away from old Calvin over there, who's given you congratulations. Talk us through that first race. The one word you used was challenging.
Yeah, the tracks are pretty challenging out there. Obviously, I don't know if you can see on the live stream, the pole line down here is heavily affected by big ruts. Also challenging the same down in turn 3 and 4, so not our usual driving line, but we've got to adjust, and it's challenging for all of us.
Hey, that's a good case of points, though, that you and Tim have got, you coming in home number 1 and Tim in 3.
Yeah, bloody awesome drive, actually. We started grid 11 and 10 and 11, I think. Oh, 11 and 12, sorry, so it's a good points all.
100%, and I mean he was just chewing up the cars as he was coming through, and I actually thought he was going to finish 4th, but no, he seemed to pip it right at the final corner down there.
Yeah, that's old Timo. He's got lots of experience. Hey, leave it to the last corner. You know, take your passes when you need them.
I mean, talk to us. You said that the conditions are challenging. We're looking at poor old Malcolm Naitai down here. He knows he's been in a race for sure. Look at him. Are you feeling the same? I mean, the heat and the challenging track?
No, I'm not as bad as what Malcolm looks like. A little bit hot out there. Fitness obviously pretty good for me, considering. I'm not sure what happened to Malcolm. He must have had a challenging race, but yeah, it is the same out there for all of us.
Hey, we'll let you get back to it. You've got a lot of work to do, but good luck for your 2nd and 3rd.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Cheers, Jaden. Up to you guys.
And we're about to go racing in green. Away we go. And Dougal McClymont leading us away in the 22, but it's the 17 of Blair Lee, former New Zealand street stock champion, who streaks to the lead with Dutchie in the 72 car. Again, looking very, very racy as he did in that first heat. And the outside of the 22 now and about to take over 2nd place. McClymont braves the rut down low in turn 3. Ashton Osborne has slowed right up. Not sure, something's gone wrong with the back of that car, I think. Not sure what's gone on there, but he's lost a lot of ground. Out front, Blair Lee in the 17. The other stealth chassis is absolutely hauling, and he's got another stealth chassis behind him in the form of the 72 of Peter Scout. Gap back to McClymont in that 22 Ford. And then we've got Matt Peterson in the 433 racing with McMashon in the 11 car. Willie Woodhouse coming through strong in another stealth chassis. Billy Lee in the 117 right on his tail as well. So it's reasonably close at the front of the field between the 17 of Blair Lee, the white car, and the black 72 of Peter Scout. Similar chassis, similar powertrains, although not identical. And both drivers with a lot of experience around Coke Woodford Glen, that's for sure. But at the moment it's Blair Lee who's got the lead by, well, barely 2 car lengths, 1.5 car lengths you'd say. Then we go back about 10 car lengths to the battle for 3rd place, which at the moment is between the 71 of Woodhouse and the Canterbury Roundwoods car, coming through quite strongly. But holding on, 22, the big Ford. So the 22 at the moment holds on from the 71 of Woodhouse. Yeah.
Watch something here with the ones. Well, no, I was going to say the 117 car, which he gets all crossed up. Willie goes into. Well, he was coming in low into turn 3 and 4, and he's cooking himself on that rut. But watch the pace the 117 car comes off the corner. Two completely different chassis, and you can just see that Billy's car just comes off that bottom part of the track well better than the 71 car.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So they're going down the back straight past Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand, but down the front straight, clicking off another lap with just 3 to go, it's the 17 of Blair Lee, the Kiwi Auto Spares car. And he's opened up a bit of a gap now on the 72 of Dutchie Peter Scout. And I can't really see, with the track going the way it is, I can't really see Scout closing that gap in the remaining couple of laps. So this is Blair Lee's race to take now. A long way back to the third place, the 71 of Willie Woodhouse, 117 Billy Lee, and then Matt Peterson in the Kuriga chassis in the 433 car. So Tony Mountford in the 8 pulls to the infield. White flag now for Blair Lee, Stealth chassis number 1. Second place, Stealth chassis number 2, Peter Scout. Third place, Stealth chassis number 3, the 71 of Willie Woodhouse. Is there a pattern emerging here, Jim? I'm not sure. But coming through Enviroways turn, out of turn 4 for the last time in this race, Blair Lee, a very comfortable and commanding win from Peter Scout, and Billy Lee getting mighty close to the rear of her dad's car there, but Willie in the 71 car just taking out third place.
Just as an aside, Tony, of course the 4-bar cars, they love to get up on the bars, and we know that on a rough track the drivers get, somehow when the bars go up, the drivers get whiny.
Yep.
But Blair Lee's car, it's a 4-bar car, it looked so neutral compared to the other 3 other 4-bar cars that are in this pack. It wasn't climbing up like you'd expect them to. It was more neutral through the corners. There's an argument Ford versus Chev in this grade, but ultimately they're restricted grade, so there's not that much horsepower difference. And he actually pulled away from Scouton, which you'd have to argue the 72 car is probably consistently the fastest saloon car in the country.
I'm down here with Blair Yellenberg, who's driving the 28S Beast. Mate, come off grid 14 to come home a second. You've got to be happy with that, Blair.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. He popped out from kind of the start and second, or probably third or fourth, and just kind of picked our way through, which was kind of good, and just to get clear track. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
And so you've lapped your partner, but it's not so much about just taking away the second and the third or the win. It's actually about just gaining a lot of points.
Yeah, it's pretty much about finishing this event, or from every time I've done it, you just got to finish every race, and the pairs that finish every race, they seem to come through with a good result. So yeah, you just got to finish and get your car across the line.
And now Jaden, we spoke to just a moment ago, said that the track was kind of challenging, but compared to what these guys were racing on in their first race, it's come in quite clean, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's better now than what it was for the stock cars, but I don't know what it's going to do later on. It started to go a little bit slick in our race towards the end there, but you got to expect it with 32 cars on the track, and yeah, you just got to deal with it as it comes.
Yeah, well, let's hope they've got good condition to race on now. We're going to go back to the guys upstairs. I'll race you to the pit line.
Oh, it might be a race to the hot dog stand, I reckon.
Let's go.
Where are we at with stock cars? Have we got the results after the first race?
So the lead pair at the moment is Pete and Sweeting on 61, back to Lennon and Taylor on 57, and then they drop back to 41 points for Lamp and Tyler McPherson and Josh Walsh and Michael Harris. So the second over third at the moment has actually got 16 points. So that's a long way after the first round of racing to come back. Top on individual points, it's Josh Walsh. Obviously he won the last race. There is a whole bunch of drivers, and their names being Alex Rondell, Arwa Johns, Harley Robb, Matt Richards, Brooke McPherson, William Hughes and Mark Taylor, that all DNF'd and got 0 points. So they've made themselves a long weekend, and we know that McPherson she's not borrowing a diff from her brother, let's put it that way, and that means that her and her partner, so where are they? They were due to be so she's paired with Winstanley, and they were supposed to be on the fourth row of the grid together for this race. I don't blame him. So Cleveland by himself at the in the second row there. Then we've got Winstanley by himself is it Tennant?
Tennant's by himself.
And then we have Araperi by himself. So 4 cars out. All of them Christchurch cars. What a great advert. As we have the in the star's hands, we're creeping a little bit. I will let them go. So it is a Lamp and McPherson. We go down to turn 1. How many people remember there's a rut there? About most of the inside line about now. As we head round onto the back straight, we've got the first pairing side by side. Cleveland's going to get in there, so when Stanley's getting in, and look, Taylor Lamp comes screaming through in the 992. So Kyle Lamp and Tyler McPherson running side by side down the front straight. The pack's bunched up. John's being dragged up the wall there. He has got Eris on the inside of him. We all go through turn 1 and 2. It's all getting cleaned out.
Look at the speed of Pete and the 8A car down the back straight.
Well, I'm just watching some of these guys cut through the traffic, and some cars that are traditionally really fast around here are struggling with the overall top speed. 4 wide down the front straight, and Chris Wildy, they're getting the big hurry up there by Matt Richards going. So Johns has pulled to the infield as he lost another right front.
Looks like it, yeah, the rim's damaged as well.
So it is McPherson battling here. The 2 Lamp brothers are going to be first and second, and it puts McPherson back into third. At least he's got spare pit crew now. Scott Tennant's come through as well in the 2NZ. But of course, for a lot of them, it doesn't matter now because their pairing's been busted up. So there's 3 cars there in that top 5 or top 6 that have no pairs. So from a battle of the stocks perspective, they're racing for individual points now.
45 of Richards, as it goes round.
He does over in Enviro Waste. Out in front though, it is the 772, followed by the 992 and the 136. As the 1NZ gets out of shape, he's leaning on Cam Taylor. Cam Taylor just trying to push him back, rides the wall a little bit. Oh, 1NZ's up into the wall. I think he's got a flat right rear.
Something's going amiss for the 1NZ.
And that is oh so easy to happen in this. So he's limping that to the infield. He is, yeah, it's a right rear. As the 99 car up the inside of the 53 pulls back out in front. Down to Enviro Waste, it is the 772, followed by the 992. And it looks like Tennant's got through on McPherson. There is a reason he is 2NZ. And of course, he's one of the handful of cars out there that is running injection too, isn't he?
Yep.
So 2NZ on a mission to get up the front end. Of course, he is racing for individual points now. Kyle Rowe making good effort here, getting it up there beside Win Stanley as we go through Enviro Waste. Lamp across the start-finish line. And just watching each other, pushing the cars through. It is the 4 car looking to the inside of Sturzacker. Out in front though, Lamp. A couple of cars. As Lennon looks up the inside of Sturzacker, up the inside of Taylor as well. Taylor's got good pace here as they head into Enviro Waste. Race leaders, and we're going red. And I'm picking that's for the 74 car trying to get back to the pole line.
Lights out, lights out.
And we go racing once again. So it is somebody just hooked a gear hard in front of us. He was certainly growling. Anyway, the Lamp brothers, first and second, back to Tennant. McPherson. So it's good points haul for McPherson and his partner. Everybody else just gone into a bit of an Indian file race. They're trying to keep it low through Enviro Race. Oh, watch the 4 car just bounce out of there. So did Sturzacker, ricocheted off the wall. Mark Taylor's in there, back with Will Hughes. Out in front though, it is the 772 followed by the 992. It's great because one brother watching the other one gets to see the mistakes he makes. Now he's looking to the outside.
It's fast around the outside.
He knows it too, but his brother's having to defend. So great battle there between Kyle in the green car and Taylor in the orange. And yeah, Taylor, I think the 992's got the better of it. He's looking over at him, eh? He's faked him in on the break into turn 1.
And Scott Tennant sitting in behind them. He was just loving watching these 2 brothers ding-dong it out and waiting for an opening.
Here we go. We're going to kamikaze up the inside. Yeah, this is what Tennant wants. Just destroy each other in the midst. Make it more awkward. Already hits. Oh no, Tennant's lost a right rear. Well, he can go park beside James Stein and they can discuss RC cars on the infield, unfortunately. That's not how you want to finish that race. And Tyler McPherson, he's just kept it clean. He's got...
Sturzacker's in the infield.
It's getting hard on cars now. That rut, you've just got to learn to drive slightly above it or manage to make your car squeeze in between that and the pole line. It is the 2 Lamps Jason Brooks. Does he get picked up on the back straight? They head past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand. They've got 2 laps to go. They're going to get the white flag as they come round. And Taylor's in the lead. Back to Kyle. Followed by Tyler McPherson. 1 lap to go. Oh, this is it. After that little rut catch there by the 772, this is going to be the Taylor Lamp's trip home as he heads through Enviro-Waste. Keeps it down low, and the 992 will come home for the race win, followed by the 772 and the 136 for third. Kyle Rowe in the 79, followed by Royden and Stanley in the 82.
So as you say, Taylor Lamp. Then we go back to Kyle.
Yeah, it's done all the pairings.
So we definitely know Taylor Lamp in the 992P car came home first. Kyle Lamp in the 772P car second. And it's interesting watching Mum sitting down in front of us, watching the 2 boys racing there. So it's good to see that they're all getting on. Then we go back to
at this point,
Tyler McPherson. Kyle Rowe in the 79 came in 4th spot. Then we go back to 82P, Royden Wynne Stanley. 88V, Troy Cleveland in that 6th spot. Then Rebecca Barr, 134P came in 7th. Jay Holtham, her partner, in the 317 in 8th. Sheldon Araperi in the 9W car in 9th. And then topping out the top 10, 212V, Blair Reeves-Smith.
As we look to the chute, the next wave of youth mini stock drivers will be out. The stock cars do a bit of a clean-up. There's definitely going to be some... I see Elite Wheels have got a van in the pits, so no doubt they'll be selling some tyres.
Selling some tyres and rims. And
so out of that, we will... Mum here taking photos down there, is it?
Yep.
Yep. Got to enjoy it. So that is heat 2 of the stock cars, Battle of the Stocks. We look to the youth mini stock, and then very shortly we'll be back out with the second heat of the super stock. Okay, so Youth Mini Stock will be doing their second race. Of course, this is 10 of these cars.
Yep, absolutely.
Haven't raced tonight. As we head around, they've got to peel either side of the rut. They aren't exactly bumper to bumper, but hey, we're going to go racing anyway.
And that was as tidy a start as the first heat.
Oh no, to be fair, that was better. Now, one thing we did notice out there, and we'll talk about it after the race, is there's actually a 1 mini stock.
Yes, number 1 mini stock. Yes.
And there's actually we'll talk about that, because that's going to create some fun with production saloons and mini stocks around the countryside when people realise what happened there. Out in front though, as we come across the start-finish line after a lap, which seems reasonably uneventful, the 88T car of Ashton Gable leading us. The 12 car ricocheting off the wall here in front of us. And we're racing on the front end of our bumper tonight. The 99 car, the 7 car ploughed straight in. So I'm going to be saying there's going to be some belt marks on some drivers after that one.
12 drivers just adjusting his helmet in there. He's definitely still with us.
Yeah.
12 is Cole Phillips.
Okay.
It looks as though we're going to go down to the pits with Taylor Lamp.
Yeah, I'm down here. Mate, that was a really good hard-out race with your brother, but you came away the victor. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was pretty good out there. I knew that I wasn't going to get him down low. He just had that little bit on me coming off the turns, but I thought I'd try the high line a bit there, and it seems to be working for me, so I was stoked. Got him.
Yeah, and I think you and Rebecca Barr were probably the only 2 that were brave enough to go high, but hey, it paid off in the end. Talk to us about that track though, because it looks like a massive rut down on turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing with running down low. I had to be so cautious as well, because the last thing I want was to get a right rear flatty. I've seen a few cars, like even my peer, he got taken off on that red light for the same thing. Flat tyre, so I don't want to get one myself, so that's why I thought, why not, I'll just try come out a little bit off that rut, and yeah, it seemed to be hooking up pretty good, so stoked.
Well, I counted about 7 cars that had DNFs, and I'm sure these guys upstairs will confirm, but all of them had punches.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just that track out there tonight, it's going to catch a few guys out. So hopefully we can stay out of it and finish clean, and just get those points.
That's what it's all about, getting those points. Hey, listen, you go grab yourself a drink. I did pull you away mid-sip there, but hey, good luck for the rest of the evening.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome, cheers.
As we will going to be, they've closed the gates. No, we've got a couple more. We've got about a minute or two before we go back racing, so we'll throw back down to the pits for a minute.
I'm down here with Kyle Lamb. I just spoke to your brother, and he was saying it was pretty much of a daring move to go high, but you weren't going to take him out, were you?
No, not really, but I was more worried about the car taking him out, to be honest, with those ruts. But yeah, it worked out all good, so didn't get a flatty, that's the main thing.
I mean, and it was a really good, respectful to and fro with you guys, so I didn't know whether you wanted it or not. But that's really good. What does it feel like to be down here with your brother and race like that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's even more special now that I've got one of his cars, like getting out there with him in one of his, being beside him and whatnot. It's awesome. Yeah, and it's good for his name and his chassis. Hopefully we can get a few more out there.
100%, that's what it's all about, I mean, promotion of all the different chassis, the different motors and what have you, and when you guys can come home first and second like that, that's good, like I say, for the car.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's a few more of them coming up that are almost finished and out there around the country, and it's awesome for him.
Yeah. Hey mate, we're out here racing again, so nice talking to you.
Sweet, cheers.
Awesome, thanks.
As the 88 car leads us down into Enviroways, Burson has gone through on Bland in the 23 car of Ashton. We have a few of these cars all just taking that slightly higher line. They know not to drive in the
ruts there. They don't want to get tangled up in it, and they're adapting.
At speed very interesting. The one car coming through on the Hustos car. The 971, he manages to find the rut but kept the pace going through all of that. So out in front though, it is the 88T of Ashton Gable leading us. Led from the start, absolutely flying back to Burson. Then we have the 31 of Bland and the 23 car of Flynn Ashton. Now he's gone to the inside line of that rut and he's done a beautiful job there.
Did it well, didn't he?
Knows the margins of his car. Back to the 971 car of George Crawford and then the one car of Deegan Butcher. There's a few of these cars just backing up a wee bit through Enviroways. Running that high line, it's a bit of a head spin for drivers who aren't used to running high through that end of the track, and you think turn 4 is coming up very, very quickly. 10 car just limping to the infield. That's unusual for the 10C. But out in front though, that is the 88 car of Gable leading the race. Burson catching in the Debbie the Webster sponsored bright orange mini stock there, followed by Ashton in the 23 and Crawford there in the 971. So no real changes in positions, but the 971 here we go, goes to the big dive up the inside, but I think Ashton's got the better. Oh no, Crawford still managed to hang in there. So Crawford there just trying to keep Ashton out wide. And Ashton's going to come back down on the inside line as we head down turn 2. So some good clean racing there as we go back to Butcher and then the other 88 car on the track of Cohen Wright. They go from the 31 of Land. Out in front though, it is the 88T car being into a battle now with the 21 of Burson.
Burson is the quicker car, but can he get past?
Red light. Oh, the 5 cars of Isaac Chapman spun over turn 2. And to be fair, they're faking each other on the brake, but they were side by side.
There's a few hand signals there. I think one was saying, no, go back. No, I'm here. Go back.
It's up to the referee. They were side by side all the way off the corner when the red came on, to be fair. So just
behind 35.
So just telling one or two of the drivers where they should be on the track. Amazing that all of a sudden the headsets don't work when they're racing.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
Noticed that a few
just
of them,
like the adults.
No, the brakes don't work with the adults.
21 goes forward to the back bumper of the white.
So actually the referee's told the 21 car to go forward again there.
To the back bumper. Well, it's going to be who dumps the clutch the fastest on this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we still have the push car over there talking with Luke Higgins. It's going to be scary when he gets a super stop. I wonder who built the chassis.
Yes.
Anyway,
no guesses.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And they got a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Burson was on the 1. I'll give him that. It's good to see that he can count. His future and he won't just be cutting trees down when he gets older.
That's another one for the highlight reel, actually. With that audio attached to it. Yeah,
it was brilliant. He knew to go, but Jack Burson just blinded off the start on the 88 car. Crawford's come through as well, so Crawford. How many laps we got there? So they're going to get the white flag as they come across the start-finish line. Might just have enough time to do something with the 88 car of Gable. In fact, will have enough time. So goes to the inside round turn 1. Is that the right move? It looks like as you come off onto turn 2, the rut actually levels out. So as long as you can survive staying low for the entry, as Burson leads us into Enviro Waste, and it is Crawford up underneath Gable. Crawford has done it. So Burson will take the win. That was a beautiful drive from the 21. Back to the 971, the 88T and the 1 car of Butcher. Now, for those of you at home going, 1? There's no 1NZ in mini stocks. There's no 1, because there isn't, is there?
There is no 1NZ in mini stocks. That is true. There is no national championship for this grade in youth mini stocks, and therefore no national champion.
So, herein lies the rub. And this is where the hole is, and all of a sudden there's going to be a whole bunch of production drivers that figured this out, and probably mini stock drivers. 1, 2, 3 are reserved for national champions in national grades, not regional grades.
No. So you can be the number 1.
You can be 1 in a mini stock. You can be 1 in a production, 2 and 3, and that is the little loophole that the Butcher family have realised.
Yeah. So that is the 1B car. It's not the 1NZ car. It's the 1B car. We could yet have a 1C car here at Christchurch.
Just give it a week. Give it a week. It's bound to happen, because by all accounts you can't use that number at a national level, but regional grades don't have national titles.
There you go. Which is how the 1B car gets to be part of
so
this
there's
race.
Now a whole bunch of kids going out to the garage to peel off stickers off their cars.
Absolutely. So that was our youth mini stocks. We've been given points for the after the 2 rounds of the stock cars. We'll come to that shortly. But next up is super stocks. We've got to play a quick ad to pay the bills, and we'll be back with those guys very, very shortly.
The St. Nicholas is a familiar sight around Bluff as she steams out to capture Can-Do Fishing's famous Bluff Kinner. Once caught, the kinner is brought back to the purpose-built factory in Bluff where it is processed, packed and shipped fresh to you. But that's not all that Can-Do Fishing can do for you. Try some of their green-boned fish or delicious power products and you will soon see why seafood from the Bluff is world famous. So head to your local fish market or supermarket and ask for Can-Do Fishing Kinner, fish or power. Can-Do Fishing, there's nothing we can't do for you.
Are you building a new commercial business or home? Or is it time that your existing premises had a repaint anywhere in the South Island? Then Anderton Decorators have you covered. From floor to ceiling, wall to roof, Anderton Decorators offer the latest techniques, equipment and technology to make even the hardest tasks seem simple. Anderton Decorators also has the expert team to take the frustration out of your next project. Call Shane today on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators. We have you covered.
Pinky in his butt. Alright, I guess this is the night bitches die.
Grids for the second heat.
So Uhlenberg in the 28S will have Riley Evans on the front row, and then the pairing of Groom and Keats will be second row.
And behind them we've got Ethan Levine in the 46W with Ben Hearn in the 79C. And behind them we've got 72P Simon Joblin with 991C Harley Robb.
With Chad Ace and Mike Hislop forming the fifth row of the grid. The sixth row of the grid will be Keegan Levine and Alex Hill. And we go back through them all of a sudden.
And then we go to Kendall Ashton in the 23R with the 32C Mitch Berry, with Bryce Steiner in the 118R and Lloyd Jennings the next one.
The ninth row of the grid will have Scott Joblin, I had to think which one it was, Scott Joblin and Malcolm Nartai, with Brucknell and Hippie Paul in the 10th row.
Then we go back to the 442R of Dylan Ashton. Then we've got his partner, 34C Caleb West. In behind them, the 87B Thomas Stanaway out of Napier with 24C Zach West.
The 24R of Ashton with the other Berry in the 23C. Then we go to the 14th row of the grid with Tim Ross and the 971 of Jaden Ward.
And then we go back to the 62P of Adam Joblin and the 999C of Cam Rain. And behind them, we've got the 46B of Quinn Ryan with the 557C of Darryl Wallace.
And I did note that the 191 is out on the track, and that means that someone has dipped out for the weekend, as Dylan Robb will step in as the reserve driver. Now, from memory, this is his second run in the car.
A bit of a
baptism of fire. He looks like he's with Kendall Ash, with the 422 car.
422 car.
So that means he'll be standing in for the 14C car. No, 34C. It's Lloyd Jennings that's not there. So Dylan Robb in for the 25C car.
I'm standing on a stool to try and see down as they're all ready to go. Second heat of the Suck It Up Battle of the Stocks. And they're away and racing. Eulenberg in the 28 car. He gets a flyer as they go into turns 1. They all manage to get through. So they're all bouncing. They've worked out. We've got to get up high. Eulenberg leads us down the back straight for the first time. Here comes the 46 up the inside. Riley Evans in the 7. He's just pushed out wide there. Groom's gone with him as well in the 9B car as they come round for the first lap. Bit of mayhem up in turn 4. Somebody's parked up on the wall. Is that Riley Evans in the 7?
That certainly was.
But back up the front, the 28, Blair Eulenberg. 557, Darryl Wallace just rejoins. He's going to be a lap down. But our race leader at this stage, the 28, over the 46W of Levine. Back to him, behind him is Buckrell in the 99. Simon Joblin is there on the outside of the 991 as they go down the back straight. Ben Hearn in the 79. Then we go back to Thomas Stanaway shooting up the inside. Buckrell looks like something's gone wrong with that car. He's sitting up high against the wall. So our race leader, he's just pulling away at this stage. 28, Blair Eulenberg out of Stratford. Then we go back to Levine. We've gone red.
Yeah, it's going to be for the parked car on the front straight. History tells us though tonight that not a great place to park.
No. So Ethan Levine in the 46. He's sitting in second spot. Simon Joblin sitting in behind him.
There's nothing wrong with the accelerator in that car.
Nope. They just give it a tweak of the magic juice.
Threaten it that it's going to get replaced. And I just got a text message there. That is the original car.
It is the original car?
Yep.
There you go.
And actually the same person texted me earlier to say that no, the Harwood car was only out for an exhibition.
Oh, okay.
But we still know it goes.
Yep.
And it still has an engine. And a few of those cars here, poor old Riley Evans, he just got caught on the outs.
Wide.
But interesting, just noticing, a couple of guys there, Malcolm Nato and Harley Robb, whilst they're getting results, they are struggling with the track. They're not cutting through the field like you'd expect them to on their home track. The 10 car of Hislop with the Seal construction machine, that's parked over there. Of course, that car actually holds the lap record around Palmy.
Wow. So we're back racing again. The 28S, Blair Eulenberg, over Levine in the 46, Simon Joblin. Up the inside of Joblin is the 991, but Joblin gets the drive off turn 2. There's Thomas Stanaway coming into it. Darryl Wallace, I'm sure, is still a lap down. Then we'll go back to Tim Ross in the 144G. As they come past us, not much change at this stage. Eulenberg's coming under a bit of pressure from 46 to Levine. Then we've got Harley Robb up the inside of Simon Joblin. Joblin's liking that high line. Thomas Stanaway, he's now got past Darryl Wallace. Then we go back to the 144G. And behind them, we go back to to 52.
Red.
Gone red again.
Got to be debris on the track somewhere for that one.
So 52, Scott Joblin, then back to Malcolm Nartai, Jaden Ward.
Oh no, we're on fire. That's what we've got our issue with.
Our race leader sitting down the middle of the back straight. We're about to go green again, and we're away racing. Everybody got away. The 28 machine comes through turn 4. Eulenberg in the Eulenberg haulage car. Then we go back to the 46 of Ethan Levine. Then Harley Robb, he's managed to take that spot over from Simon Joblin, who's under a bit of pressure now from the 87B car of Thomas Stanaway. Tim Ross is about to join this party as well. Here comes Malcolm Nartai. The race is going to be for the minor placings. Levine trying to get up the inside. They're going to hit that rut together, bounce around a wee bit, but they get through it. Eulenberg still leading us. He's pulled a couple of car lengths over Levine, who's now pulled about half the back straight over Harley Robb, who's sitting in the 3rd spot. Thomas Stanaway's managed to get into that 4th spot. In behind him, Simon Joblin in the 72P car. Coming in strong now, Malcolm Nartai. He's going to put some pressure. Stanaway just gets the rut a wee bit, loses a couple of car lengths over Harley Robb. But our race leader, Eulenberg, as he comes through turn 4 once again. 28S out of Stratford, followed by Ethan Levine in the 46W car. Thomas Stanaway, now he's just shot up the inside of Harley Robb. Harley Robb's trying to come back down underneath him. Then we go back to the Simon Joblin in the 72. Malcolm Nartai in the 19 car. And behind those guys as they come past, just watching the leaders. Nothing's changed at this stage. Blair Eulenberg is leading us. And behind Simon Joblin, we go back to the 52. And then behind him, 971, Jaden Ward. Then Cam Rain in the 999. But our race leader comes past us for another lap. The 28S. Blair Eulenberg. Then we go back to the 46W of Ethan Levine. Our 3rd spot, Thomas Stanaway. They're about a dozen car lengths back. He's coming under a wee bit of pressure of Harley Robb. Another lap down. Back markers playing in here. Malcolm Nartai's got through. Simon Joblin's dropped back a wee bit. Then we go back to the 52. And behind them, I'm picking it's Jaden Ward in the 971. White flag this time round for the 28S. Blair Eulenberg led it from start to finish. Ethan Levine just sitting there, just in behind him. Hasn't got much for him. Caleb West pulls to the infield. Then we'll go back to Harley Robb in the 991 machine by the look of it. Malcolm Nartai is going to try and get up the inside of Stanaway. But our race winner will go to Eulenberg. Then we go back to Ethan Levine. Harley Robb. Then we back to Nartai, I think, just got it over the 87 of Thomas Stanaway. So as they roll round, Blair Eulenberg, Ethan Levine, Malcolm Nartai, Thomas Stanaway, Scott Joblin, Simon Joblin, Jaden Ward, Quinn Ryan, Alex Hill from Nelson, Bryce Steiner is your top 10.
It's really interesting as we look through the pack how there were races within races going on there. The likes of Tim Ross and Ben Hearn as we came across the start-finish line, but with the different grids, you're moving back through the pack, and sometimes cars you normally race against, they're a long way away. You meet them up midway through the race, and the race was on. As we look at there, 31 cars registered, and about 4 or 5 on the infield out of all of that. I just like the number on one of them just to upset people. Anyway, the adult mini stocks are let go. I think Glen Marsden was awake for that one. Just about went up the inside of the 55, but he had to back out of it. As we head into turn one, it is Shady in the 93 car leading us round over the 79 of Dempsey back to Marsden, and Dempsey Senior in the 26. And let's see how they all approach it. It's funny, they've developed a new pole line for the mini stocks, and none of them want to cross it.
Yes, it's like our track's got, an extra 3 metres wide at each end.
Well, it's like racing at Ruapoon. You've got the bike track and the car track.
Yeah.
Anyway, at least we didn't put a drift track in. As we have the battle there, the three-way, it is the Shady in the 93 back to the 79 of Dempsey with Marsden in the 87. All racing relatively smooth as the 252 ducks to the inside line and didn't really benefit from it, unfortunately. Shady knows he dropped a wheel over that line, but it's quite a long way down for the mini stocks. You're just about at full suspension travel when you drop it off the rut. But it's still fast. This is the interesting thing. It's forcing drivers into a higher part of the track where there is a lot of drive.
There is a lot of drive, and the lap times are not that bad for mini stocks. What are we looking at? 22.6, 22.7 at the moment. So that's pretty good lap times for a mini stock around Woodford Glen.
But Shady's still leading us in the 93 car. Dempsey really can't do too much. And he's all over the rear bumper, but can't get the run into the corner. If he's going to get the run into the corner, he has to commit to that low line. And that's either going to put him into first or put him back about fifth.
Yeah.
But running that high line, he's Dempsey looking at that. There's Marsden just sitting back a couple of car lengths. Definitely hear the wheels squealing. Going to come up on the 84 of Hawley shortly. And it is Shady through Enviro-Waste back to Dempsey with Marsden Senior. Dempsey Senior behind him. Then Bork in the 24 car. And into the back marker. So which way do we go? The 84 car can be a little unpredictable at times. As Shady goes to the outside, puts the back marker between himself and the 79, and Dempsey ducks low. This might be the benefit here. Seeing if there's drive there, Marsden ducked low as well, as the 84 car just has to back out of it. It is still Shade and Andrew McCartney out in front in the 93, past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand. A couple of car lengths back to the 79. They have through the 2 laps as they cross the start-finish line. Really, the 79 car is just waiting for the 93 to make a mistake. There isn't a lot he's able to do.
No, and I don't think there's going to be an opportunity to pass with just a couple of laps to go.
Well, there's the opportunity to take that low line into 3, but you've got to be brave and you've got to be confident that you can carry your momentum through there. If you look at Bright there in the 17 car on the outside line around the bulk of the pack, he just screamed in there. The 55 car of Harris having a quieter night than he did a couple of weeks ago here.
So we're in the last lap.
As they head past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand, it is the 93 of Shady back to the 79. Here we go. Dempsey ducks to that low line. Is it going to pay off? Just don't think he can carry the momentum. No, he just can't carry the momentum through the corner.
Didn't really change anything, did it? So
no, but he gave it a crack.
He gave it a go, and it was worth a go on the last lap of the race.
Marsden there with the Dempsey Senior for 4th and Bork for 5th. And that was adult mini stocks. In the chute at the moment, it is the Saloons.
They'll be out on the track very shortly.
Front row of the grid will be very interesting.
Oh yes, it is. Two very fast stealth chassis there off the front of that Saloon grid. We'll look forward to that one. We'll be back with them very short. We've just got to pay a few messages and pay a few bills.
Get wholesale tyres in Whakatane.
Need truck tyres? Wholesale tyres. Good tyres, better prices, great people.
Total Access is New Zealand's largest providers of access machines, scaffolding and height services. Total Access stand by their promise of reliable service, making easy access. With access machines of all types, Total Access have the small machines right up to New Zealand's largest, with a reach of over 56 metres. With locations all over New Zealand, give the team a call today on 0800 Hire Now or visit their website at totalaccess.co.nz. Total Access, where height is within your reach.
Hey guys, so I'm down here, we're just chilling out really down here with Ethan Levine. You didn't win that, you came home second, but that was a drag race to the finish. You had a lot of fun though, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a fair bit of fun. First meeting back since team champs, so yeah, straight back into it. DNF in the first one, couple of little ECU problems, but back out of that one, and yeah, we were on form. Spent most of the race chasing down Blair, and I'd pull him in a little bit and he would get away, but yeah, it was just too fast in the end, couldn't quite get him, but yeah, it was a fun race, it was awesome. The track's definitely very challenging out there at the moment. She's slicking off out high and down lows like a railway track. If you're in the groove, you're alright, but as soon as you get out of that groove, yeah, not good.
There were a couple of laps where we seen you just bouncing all over the show. It was like if you are caught out by that rut, that's it, you're done, you're just holding on for the ride.
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying a few different lines out there, like a high entry and then kind of cutting through the ruts and a low exit, but yeah, a couple of times I'm pretty sure I was up on two wheels. I think there was one here moment where I was like, oh shit, we're lucky here.
Just holding on, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, your brother over here, Keegan, he had a DNF in that race. Can you tell us what's happened to Keegan? We just wanted to check that he's alright.
He reckons the right rear, in these ones when the right rear is flat with mud, they cause a hell of a vibration, and he reckons he got so much mud in his right rear that it was making his vision go blurry down the straight. It was making it that much of a vibration. So yeah, that's what it is. Challenging track, but yeah, we're all on the same track.
That's incredible that you say that his vision was going blurry, because that's obviously quite serious that he's had to pull off. So we're glad that he did pull off and recognise, I can't drive on this.
Yeah, it must have been a hell of a vibration. Like I picked up one there in the last couple laps, just running that kind of low line. The right rears just picked them up quite easily, and yeah, I noticed straight away. I'm like, shit, yeah, we got a bit of mud in the right rear for the last few laps for big vibration, but yeah, I guess Keegan's car must have been full of mud in that right rear to give it that bit of a vibration.
Well, listen, you guys have put on a good show for us tonight. Go out and have fun in the third one. Drink up your drink. You really deserve it after that showing.
Yeah, I'll try my best. We actually lost the clutch just like coming off the end there, so we'll try get it all fixed up for the last one.
You guys have got it all going on tonight.
Yeah, first meeting back since teams, so probably not the best thing, but yeah, we're just finding that team's racing damage right now, really.
Yeah. Awesome. Cheers. Thanks for the chat.
Yep. He likes to collect. So this is Dutchie's one that he started the season out when it was all just basically white with the black 72 on it. And of course this is this generation stealth. And of course Ashton last season ran the trial engine, but back to a more traditional power plant for the Saloon this year.
Second row of the grid, the 433, Matt Peterson in his old Saloon chassis, or one of the original Saloon chassis, I think it was.
Yep.
And Tony Mountford on the outside there, and then Blair Lee, who won that previous heat, tucked in on the third row. This will be interesting. We're green, we're racing, we're away. And it's just neck and neck down the front straight, with Dutchie just getting the nose in front. The drivers want to avoid that rut. Cutting through the inside, Ashton Osborne can't quite get the front end grip to make that pass work, but these two have cleared out slightly from Matt Peterson, who's got the 17 of Blair Lee hot on his tail. Round the outside coming through is the 71 car, Willie Woodhouse. He's been fast all night. Tony Mountford dropping back through the pack a little bit. Billy Lee trying to get past him, but the door gets shut there too. And Scott coming around the outside of the 7 car as well. The back of the field, the 22 of McClimate seems to have dropped off the pace a lot. And Steve Peterson is there in the 28 as well. So that's a couple of laps completed now for 72. Dutchie scouting in the black car. Stealth chassis, holding off. Son of Stealth, Ashton Osborne in the 16 car. I was about to say 116, the 16 car. These two have cleared out a little bit for the third place, which is a battle between the 17 of Blair Lee and the 433 of Matt Peterson. They're just ahead of 71, Willie Woodhouse, who's closing the gap, going to make it a threesome for third place. 4 laps down now for Dutchie in the 72. opening up a bit of a gap, but you get the feeling over the 16 car. Still a long way back to third place. Blair Lee's got a great run up the inside there, just gets the nose in front of Matty P. Peterson will come back at him though. And all the time, Willie Woodhouse closing on these two. He's running a tighter line, got caught out by the rut there on the entry to turn 1, shrugs it off out of turn 2 and just rides it anyway. Blair Lee's got definitely the advantage over Peterson to take a solid third place now. And Peterson's got to defend high against 71. Now they cross. Peterson goes low, 71 goes high. And there's no doubt about it, Woodhouse has got that car working a treat. And he takes over 4th place. So we're 7 laps down now. Peter Scout's got a lead of a couple of seconds over the 16 car of Ashton Osborne. We go back to the 17 of Blair Lee and the 71 of Willie Woodhouse. 433 Matt Peterson tucked in behind there, then Willie Lee in the 117, Bashan in the 11 car, Scott Woodhouse in the 7 machine, Steve Peterson the 28, and McClymont about to be lapped at the back of the field in the 22 Ford. So next time round it's going to be white flag time for Peter Scout. Here it goes, white flag's waved, he's right on the back of the 22 machine. To be honest, he doesn't really need to pass him. He's got that much of a gap on the 16 of Osborne. But he'll do it anyway. Why not? Does it down the straight so he can set the car for the turns. And he comes off Envirowaste turn 4 to take the checkered flag. I would have to say a relatively straightforward win for Peter Scout ahead of Ashton Osborne in the 16 car and Blair Lee in the 17.
Yeah, for identical chassis they do different things, don't they?
They do.
And it's interesting when you start talking to the drivers and talking to what their thoughts are and where they're at with racing.
Yep.
Obviously we know that the 72C is for sale. As Peter Scout taking away that race, Ashton Osborne, Blair Lee, Willie Woodhouse, really familiar top 4 this tonight. Matty P there in the 433, Billy Woodhouse with Brett McGlashan, Scott Woodhouse, Steve Peterson and Dougal McClymont being our 10. And we look to the chute and it's the stock cars lining up again. Oh, we're just getting through the rounds, aren't we?
We're getting through it tonight.
Poor old Tony Mountford in the 8 car coming down the front straight here. All of a sudden his car had a 700 cubic inch engine as he was joined by another car pushing him down the straight. I think he must have got a bit of shock by the time he got to the pit gate and realised he was still being pushed. So, but finishing on the infield unfortunately.
Guys, I hope that you can hear me. We've got a lot going on. We've got all these stock cars lined up between us, but we're down deep in the pits. Hey, I don't know about you, but that was such an awesome race. How are you feeling about the track tonight? You've had 2 fourths. Two fourths. Oh my gosh, it's all going on. How are you feeling about what's happening out there tonight?
Yeah, no, it's good. A couple of good top 5 finishes. So, hey, that's the goal. You don't have to win every race. You just got to try and finish and try go forward every race. It's quite a challenging track. It's like 2 different tracks, real rough down low and then slick as out wide. So you just got to set up to what you want to be, what you want to race on, and go like hell. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Listen, all the drivers are saying the same thing, that it is a very challenging track, but from a spectator's point of view, it's so good. I literally did not know where to look in that last race. There was about 3 good races happening all at the same time, and you had a really good, respectful to and fro with Malcolm Natai, didn't you?
Yeah. Me and Malcolm always got a bit of a rivalry game. I used to always stay with Malcolm. We always give each other a bit of shit. So yeah, but no, it's a good race. Yeah.
Just come over this way a little bit more. Our cameraman saying that we need to get in the light. Maybe we're not angelic as what we are. But hey, do you know where you're starting with your final race tonight?
I think a similar position to what I was in that one. I don't know the number exactly, but somewhere near the red. So hey, we'll just try and go forward and try finish to start with, and then try move forward as much as we can and see where we are. It's a long way to go yet. We've still got another 4 races to go tomorrow, and anything can happen. So yeah.
Individual points at the moment. Logan Pete, 8A is
look restarted.
Yeah, that thing's quick. Kyle Lamb, he's sitting second in individual points at this stage. Then we go back to Wade Sweeting and Taylor Lamb, tied for that 3rd spot. Kyle Rowe rounds out the top 5 on the points at the moment. Braden Lennon sitting tied with Kyle, actually. No, sorry, tell a lie, he's 2 points back. He's tied with Sheldon Arapiri.
So Sheldon's on the front. If we look at the front row, there's a lot of those names you mentioned are actually in the first 3 rows. And we've got Sweeting there on the inside second row with Pete on the outside of him. Of course, they're paired up, so this is perfect. They're not going to take each other out. Well, not like the good old days of stock cars. And then, of course, the tri-rails behind them. As we head away, we're on way into turn 1. Who's going to get pushed over the rut? Oh, a few cars there. You can see it's like they've got a speed bump in the middle of it, but no one lifts for it. We've got, 1NZ just launched over the top of Pete. Sparks everywhere. We're going to see what comes out of this.
Barr, she's involved in it. Tyler McPherson.
And I think we've got Pete parked up over on the far side over there. I don't know if he's going to be going. He got launched. He was. As Stanley gets back out, when Stanley gets back out on the back straight, the 1NZ car, whoever's rebuilding his shocks, is going to have a job to do in the morning, because that thing
he got some air time.
He got some serious hang time, and I thought he was going over.
So McPherson, he's got an outside front flat.
But look at his radiator hoop; it's pushed all back. So he's been in the instigator of some of that.
Rebecca Barr's parked on the infield. The left front collapsed by the look of that.
The rim ripped off. The rim's definitely mangled.
So that was.
We're going for the replay, courtesy of Fitz TV. We watched them come off. A few of them get.
So where's 1NZ? He's getting tangled up as they come out of turn 2.
He did. He'd already. Pete got crossed up. He just launched over him. McPherson ploughed into the side of Pete. Nowhere to go, and then everything else just sort of happened after that.
Sparks are flying like the 4th of July.
That was kind of cool to watch. I'm glad I don't have to pay for the damages.
So as you see them coming out here, you see them up top there.
He'd already launched over the top of Pete.
Mate, he was sick of ferry sailings, wasn't he? He was taking on Air New Zealand.
Given both that car and the 134 car coming out of the same bus, so some crew's going to have to do some work to put them back in.
7-2, you can back up, please.
That was
7-2, can back
really
up.
interesting.
And we're only we're only just on 1 lap in. So just wait for the red flags coming, lights are out.
And we're away and racing once again. It is Arapiri back to Sweeting. And we are absolute sparks off the wall. Who was on the outside down there? Then Hughes is running 3rd at the moment with the 56 and the 992. And Taylor Lamb just gives a wee little slap and flicks the 56 car out wide. Arapiri, though, he's been on this track several times. He knows his way around, and of course all the years he was coming down his pit crew with his father. Very, very quick in the 9W. Back to Hughes. Sweeting just getting held out wide a wee bit at the moment. And if you look at that, contemplate that interview with Lamp earlier, talking about trying to sell some chassis for his brother. The Lamps are certainly putting their name on the books tonight to try and get some chassis sales. They are very, very quick in the 992 and the 772. Out in front, though, it is Arapiri. Back to Hughes, Lamp, Sweeting.
2NZ to the infield.
So he got a flat rear tyre?
No, it looks like it's collapsed in the rear end.
He needs extra shocks like the 371 car, or 317 car. Anyway, Kyle Rowe giving Sweeting a bit of a hurry up down the front straight. Oh, we're going wide here. We're going all sorts of crazy. Yep, the tank going out to the wall with the 69 car. We're going at a bit of a tank slapper. No pun intended. As we clock up another lap, have we untangled ourselves down there? And Chris Harrow just pulls down in front of Arapiri. He only did it with just enough time. And he rejoins in the number 4 tank, number 53 on the track. It is our race leader coming off turn 4, Arapiri. Back to Hughes with Lamp. And midway through the pack, it looks like we're just still racing it all out. No one's getting too aggressive now. Troy Cleveland there behind Aris, but it is Arapiri out in front, keeping it smooth and fast. Back to Hughes. The battle on for second at the moment between the 99 and the 992 car. Kyle Rowe has got through. The 1NZ, after all the chaos that started at the first lap, has managed to claw his way back. So despite you having a fair bit of hang time, Walsh actually being able to keep a fair bit of pace in the car, you've got to assume there's something bent in it.
You watch Araperi and Walsh, they're using that low line. They're going under that rut.
Yeah.
Lamp's doing the same thing as you watch them going through 1 and 2.
Just relying on the brakes to get them in. But I'd imagine both cars have got reasonably good horsepower, so they're able to pull themselves off the line. But of course, when everybody's above the rut, they're just drying the track out and they're all getting tangled. Araperi just looks smooth though, doesn't he?
Yep.
As he heads through, he's in the back markers here. He's got Mark Taylor, which you wouldn't usually think was going to be a back marker. This is next victim. As Lamp's gone through on Hughes, Kyle Rowe sitting 4th, Walsh in 5th with Sweeting behind him, and actually Kyle Lamp has gone down, was exploring that low line as well.
Bit of smoke starting to appear out of the 5-2-1.
It's appeared, and he's on the infield. It's the 56 car ricocheting off the wall in front of us. Our race leader, where is he on the track? Looking for him. Across the start finish line. Yep. Back to. He's kept a consistent gap over Lamp. Lamp's gone up high, but we are getting into those back marker bits. He just knows that he's got to keep Hughes behind him. Kyle Rowe's caught up quite nicely in the 79p. But Araperi, Spirit staying on that low line. And I wonder if that's just the ability of the independent front on that car as well to drive more manoeuvrable on a track like this. Saying that he's had enough wisdom and enough smarts just to drive the car where it works for him. He's coming through Enviro Waste for the final time as Kyle Taylor Lamp gets into the 84 car, ricochets him off the wall, lands on him, and still comes home second with Hughes and Rowe. Walsh managing to bring it home. To be fair, my drive out of that one has to go to Walsh, because not only did he get a lot of hang time, and it would have been a heck of a moment thinking, well, my night's over.
Yeah, exactly.
He's actually managed to come home reasonably respective in the points.
The fastest lap time looking at it was a 20.34 by the 79p of Kyle Rowe. Our race winner, Sheldon Araperi. And then behind him we've got the 992p, Taylor Lamp out of Palmerston North. Back to William Hughes in the 99S car. Then we go back to Kyle Rowe in the 79p. 1NZ, Josh Walsh brings home in 5th. 772p, Kyle Lamp in the 6th spot. 151C, Wade Sweeting brings home the 7th. In 8th spot, 56k, Cameron Taylor. 317C, Jay Holtham in the 9th spot. Rounding out the top 10, sounds like I've said his name in the top 10 a couple of times now, is the 212V, Blair Reeves Smith out of Wanganui. Troy Cleveland will bring home 11th. Alex Rondell from Christchurch in the 95 in the 12th spot. 44C, Bailey Clive 13th. 991C, Craig Robb 14th. 82P, Royden Winstanley 15th. 45C, Matt Richards 16th. 17th spot goes to 71C, Jason Brooks. 18th to 84T, Mark Taylor. 9C, Daniel Cox 19th. 20th, 4C, Braden Lennon. So that's our top 20.
We only had Pete McPherson and Barr recorded as not finishers, although we do have 10 at 12 laps down, 9 laps down, Aris 4. I would be surprised based on the oil that's coming out of that car whether we will see Aris tomorrow. That looked expensive oil.
So it makes your pairings interesting.
Yeah, you can get the best cars in the world to pair with, but if they don't finish 6 races...
Yep.
And of course these guys have got a shootout tomorrow night too.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's some guys there, as we watch the replay of Walsh bouncing off through the sky, that I genuinely would have thought were going to be there. This will have hurt Pete's chances as well. To drop a race at this point...
Yep.
Which means if you want to win it, you can't really afford to drop any races. And if he gets into the top 10, quite possibly it's going to be...
Walsh got some air there as we're looking at the replay. Oh,
it's like a little heel kick as he went up in the air.
It's like, you know, it skids off his bonnet.
Yeah, well, he lost about 10 to 12 places in the mayhem of it all.
So we've got mini stocks back out on the track as I'll pass back over to Tony T.
there would be a few others, but not many. Not many.
I'm just trying to think. There's probably there's certainly Shields and Championships that would have. As the green is gone, the one car of Butcher leads us away. They're followed by the 971 of Crawford. Burson sitting back there in fourth. You'd be foolish not to think Burson's going to have a real good go here. Skur in the 79 car. They're all sitting on that high line. Who's going to venture down low? We know it's fast in there, but with the mini stocks you have to carry momentum through the corners. It's not like you've got these big lumpy cams to drag you off the corner. So Butcher out in front, back to Crawford. Skur and Burson. Then Glen. 5 car to the outside with the 52p car looking to the inside. Oh, no, we're going to go all over the track. The 5 car swiping at the 52 and just about clicks the 4 car of Clay Dawson in the midst of all of that. But Dawson's the only one that's actually going to the pole line.
Yeah, he's consciously and deliberately, isn't he, running that low line through the turns.
Certainly works through turn 1 because the mini stocks can carry momentum through it. And he did have a crack here. He's going to go...
Yeah, he's got good speed.
He certainly picked it up. He's going to go to the inside here at 1, and this will work. Ooh, he's just going to... he just went a bit hot in, I think.
Got away with it.
Out in front, though, still Butcher, followed by Crawford, Skur and Burson. Then we have the 5 car of Chapman.
A little bit of contact down out of turn 4 there. The 52 was the recipient of that, initiated it.
And we head around. Here's our race lead on. This is the start finish. Come across the start finish line very shortly. Butcher there. Really, no one's got an answer for the 1 car. He's pulled a really good gap over Crawford. Battle there between the 10 and 321 car. That's what's making the funny noise. It's the 52p car. It's the front bumper rubbing on the front tyre. That's the smoke and the noise.
That's the smoke, yep.
I can hear some squawking noise like someone is strangling a canary. As our race leader, he's just gapping the back rest of the pack. Heads past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand. Just keeping it smooth and fast. It is Butcher. He will clock up. He's got 3 laps to go. Followed by Crawford, Skur, Burson. Nothing's really changing there. The 5 and the 4T cars running almost in formation as well. Battle there between the 72 and the 35 car, the 2 Christchurch cars. Smoke coming off that right front of the 52p car of Joblin. Just waiting to see how thick that rubber tyre is, eh?
It's going to go.
Well, you can only run so much heat to it. But the 321 car and the 10 car normally would be contending at the pointy end of the field, and they are actually battling each other at the rear end of the pack here. So Burson has dropped off Skur. Our race leader, it is still the 1 car of Butcher, takes the white flag, has been the 971 car and the 71 car have got closer. The 5 car out of Nelson of Mackenzie Keane. Back marker caught up between these cars. And the 22 car of McClimate's about to get passed by our race leader. So it is the 1 car of Butcher, followed by Crawford and Skur. And that was looks like our final race of the night.
No. That race 14. We've still got a few more to go before the final race of the night, which is a youth mini stock race.
There's nobody on the dummy grid. There's no one on the dummy grid. I'm just going to whisper that to you.
So super stocks are supposed to be up next, but no one told them. They're too busy fixing their cars, I think.
There's a suck it up you blocking their way.
Okay.
So it's coming. They're coming. The super stock have just got to figure out what they want to do.
And while they're figuring that out, I think we'll play a few messages to pay a few bills and back very shortly.
It doesn't matter how hard the job is, we suck it up and get it done. No matter how dirty our hands have to get, we suck it up and get it done. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Oh, for suck's sake, suck it up. suck it up, suck it up. Out for suck's sake, suck it up.
Suck it up and get it done with suckitup.co.nz.
Technical Welding Services Hamilton are specialists in the transit concrete mixer industry. From chassis drop-off to a full working concrete mixing, the team will take care of the job from start to finish. Full engineering services and general sheet metal work can also be undertaken. Need a quote? Call 07 847 2031 or visit our website www.techweld.nz. Technical Welding Services Hamilton, we are the experts.
Guys, I mean, I'm down here with Sheldon Arapeti. I love it when you win because we can come down and have a chit-chat. Sheldon, made no secret about it, you found your happy place down underneath that rut.
Yeah, it's quite good. Moved forward massively in the first two of our back grids, and we made as much as out of that one off the front, so it's good to come off a win and a couple of top 10s, so it's good.
Tell us about the track. I mean, everyone's struggling with it. There were very few drivers who went low, but you came off with a big smile on your face because you knew that you picked the right line.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't go wrong when I got Glen and Barry helping me. It's massive to have Glen here and Barry flying down to help me out. You know, it's not just me. It's the boys giving me a car to drive and set it up. So, big ups to them, and bring on tomorrow.
And now, unfortunately, you've lost your partner in crime and Harley over there. I did see him coming to watch you, though. Really unfortunate with Harley because when you guys were picked and paired, you guys were my pick for the night. Oh, I think you owe me a beer, Sheldon.
Oh, I sort of knew it was too good to be true when Harley picked me. I thought, we might be in, but then I sort of cursed it, I think. And he had a DNF and was out for tonight. So hopefully he can be here tomorrow and stir it up and push us through. But, it's stock cars.
It sure is, and that's the stuff we love. Hey, Sheldon, always nice to talk to you. Go and have a drink, mate. You deserve that, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Cheers.
Rightio, heat 3 of the Suck It Up Battle of the Stocks.
Starting from the infield. Front row, we have got Cam Rain in the 999 with Joblin to his outside, then Hippie Paul and Brucknell in the second row.
One more lap, guys, one more lap.
And behind them we've got the 34 of Caleb West with Dylan Ashton, the 422R. Behind them we've got, it'll be the 191 of Dylan Robb replacing Lloyd Jennings with 118 Bryce Steiner.
Two top gears together, just drop. Then we have Darryl Wallace in the 55C in the 46 of Quinn Ryan with Jaden Ward and Tim Ross making up the 6th row.
And behind them we've got Jake Berry in the 23C car with 24R, another Ashton. Behind them we've got Hislop in the 10C car with Chad Ace, 4K.
Alex Hill in the 95N will be joined with his partner 5 of Keegan Levine. Then Zach West in the 24C with Stanaway make up the 10th row.
The 7C, Riley Evans with his partner 28S, Blair Eulenberg from Stratford. 47, Nigel Keats with 9B, Adam Groom.
Which moves us to the 13th row with Ben Hearn and Ethan Levine. Mitchell Berry with the 23R car of Ashton.
And 991C, Harley Robb with 72P, Simon Joblin with Malcolm Nartai and Scott Joblin in the 52P, bringing up the rear. Not a good start. I see the 191 parked on the infield already.
It seems to be the key for the reserve cars tonight to start from the infield. It's a bit of a challenge, of course.
So the 62P starting on the front row, Adam Joblin, Easy Steel sponsored machine, Dairy Masters.
We've lost a few, this front few rows.
Mate, she's
lonely at the front.
Yep.
So Adam Joblin all by himself, Hippie Paul. This does work nicely for guys like Ward who like a nice clear open track because in essence he's on the, 5th or 6th row.
Tim Ross outside him, his partner.
And he's only got 2 cars in front of him. And one of them being a mate.
So there'll be some work going on to get the pairs back up.
Tomorrow she's going to be out all day in the workshop. Of course, a lot of these cars, they've got enough parts to do it. It's just the time.
I'm just flipping the coin. All day in the workshop or on my ride-on lawnmower. Yeah, I'll take the lawnmower.
I think I've got to build a glass house tomorrow. So let's just see how that works.
These guys have got good crews. They'll get the gear back up and running, and hopefully we should have full field back again tomorrow night.
I have little doubt. Mind you, I was about to say, I wonder if there's any cars lurking around Christchurch that can be borrowed, but actually I think Malcolm's loaned out most of his.
Oh, there's bound to be a couple floating around somewhere, surely.
I think we still got the Jaguar.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the front row of the grid, it is Adam Joblin.
So, assistant clerk of the course down the back gives us the thumbs up. His vehicle's off the track, green lights in the air, and we're away racing. Happy Paul gets a flyer going into turn 1 and 2. He's just off and left Adam Joblin as they come out of the corner. Adam Joblin though is round the outside. Happy Paul's getting a hurry up from Ashton in the 422. He's going to get a high ride going into there and bounces through. Ashton just loves it, full snot, as they come out of turn 4. Somebody sideways, that'll be Quinn Ryan in the 46B car. But up the front at this stage, 557, Darryl Wallace, 118, Bryce Steiner. Then we go back to 971, Jaden Ward. Ashton in the 422. Then we go back to Uhlenberg. Thomas Stanaway's in behind him. Quinn Ryan hasn't been able to get it fired up again. Sitting there just on the pole line. Everybody, he's got it going now, just gets out of the way. The rest of the pack comes through. At the moment, Darryl Wallace leading us over Bryce Steiner out of Rotorua. Then we go back to Jaden Ward in the 971. Ashton in the 422. He's shooting up, trying to get up the inside. Here comes Ward up the inside of Steiner as they come off turn 4. Ashton's up the inside of Ward. Go down the front straight. This thing of Ashton's is a bit of a hot rod and he drives it like one. As they go down, he's up the inside of Ward. Ward's trying to come back around the outside, as is Steiner over Uhlenberg. The race is up here at the front. At the moment, Darryl Wallace is leading us. They come off turn 4, 557, Darryl Wallace. Back to Ashton on the inside of Jaden Ward as they go through 1 and 2. Uhlenberg's just shut down low there. Thomas Stanaway's in behind them. Then we go back to the 5 of Levine. And behind that, we've got Bryce Steiner. Then we go back to Adam Joblin in the 62. Back to Alex Hill. Back up the front. Traffic jam. Ashton's muscled his way through. He's taken over the lead. As they go into 1 and 2, Uhlenberg's using that bottom line. Jaden Ward still up on the high side. Then we go back to 557 Old Sauce, Darryl Wallace. Thomas Stanaway's in the mix there now as well, as Levine's coming in on strong, is also in the 5W car. Uhlenberg's taken over the lead in the 28. He's got up the inside of Ashton. Some of them are going down low now, some of them are up high. Uhlenberg and Ashton are using that bottom line. Ward's still up high, as is Darryl Wallace, Thomas Stanaway, and Levine in the 5, followed by Adam Joblin in the 62P car. Bryce Steiner's just sitting behind them, Alex Ward. Then we go back to Simon Joblin. Tim Ross is starting to make his way through. And behind Simon Joblin, we've got the 24 of Zach West. But let's go back up the front. 28S, Blair Uhlenberg out of Stratford. He's leading us at this stage. Hot on his heels, the 422R. Ashton. We've got one spun up in the corner there. Can't quite see who that is.
Hislop, I think.
Hislop, is it?
Oh no, Hislop's on the front straight.
No, Tim
here.
Ross. Tim Ross, so he'll be going a lap down. He'll want to get back out there and get good points again. But our race leader, as they come down past the start-finish line once again, Blair Uhlenberg. I'm picking this is the race car, not the team's car.
It's the Linton. Yeah.
Then we go back to Ashton in the 422. This thing has pace. Jaden Ward sitting in that 3rd spot. Then we go back to Thomas Stanaway. Keegan Levine in the 5W, trying to get up the inside of Darryl Wallace and makes the pass stick. Thomas Stanaway is going to be his next victim as we go red.
Well, Tim Ross is on the wall down here at turn 1, but we've got a Joblin.
Adam Joblin's over against the wall there trying to fire up again, I'd say, by the look of it.
Got a lovely 85, don't you?
Yep.
22, stop.
You can see the flames and all of that. Oh no, he's bailing out, so it must be.
Oh no, it's fire. It's not.
Yep. It's not trying to fire up.
It is already done. It's already done. But Tim Ross backed in the wall down here at turn 1 and 2. He's had a mare the last few laps.
Yeah, he has. Yep.
Because that thing is a rocket ship.
Isn't the chassis or is it his driving style? It's got bars on it for a reason, and I'm going to bounce off everything on the way through.
But
it's quick to go with it.
But I'm not going to lift at all. You know, you watch him here as he pushed Hippie Paul in.
As we look at the replay.
And he went out to the wall here, turned it around, hooked it, and just launched.
And it just comes off the corners.
You know, Jaden Ward, by all accounts, should have been gone. But Ashton, he's had a rough couple of laps there, but the thing just keeps coming on. You know, he's come up the inside here of Ward. It still looks like a bit tight.
Yep, and Daryl Wallace.
But it does it hook up and go.
We'll have to do some homework. I'll have to go and speak to Lala and see where this car originated from. And
I bet you he wants to keep his invite for next year now.
Well, he'll be on the reserve list for helping us out, but he came in for the Mooney family because the car was here on the South Island to do the meeting next week in Nelson. So
yep, there's the PTS Stampede up there, isn't it?
Yep.
So still a lot of racing left to finish the season out, and some of these cars.
Our meeting sponsor, Malcolm Nartai, the 19C Challenge YMAC Safer Toolbox sponsored machine.
Just having a wee breather there, and the car, of course, we were one of the Ashtons, the 23 car. 23
Lights are out, and we're back racing again. Let's try and pick up our leaders. Where did they end up? Just coming through 3 and 4. Our race leader at this stage is still Blair Eulenberg, the 28S, using that bottom line. Just gets half over that rut, gets some good drive coming out off the corner. 422R. Ashton sitting in that second spot. Then we go back to Jaden Ward, Keegan Levine. Daryl Wallace coming under a bit of pressure now from the 87. Thomas Stanaway just gives him a bit of bumper, just pushes him out wide, shoots up the inside. Starship Foundation sponsor machine. Wallace is going to try and repaint, go up the inside, gets hooked up in the rut, pushes himself out high. Alex Hill got the same issue, Simon Joblin. Then we go back to Tim Bross, Quinn Ryan. But our race leader comes past us. Blair Eulenberg having a good run here. Ashton in the 422, still holding on. Jaden Ward starting to come under a wee bit of pressure from Levine in the 5 car. Back mark is playing a wee bit now. There's guys circulating just to get points. But the white flag this time round for the 28S. Eulenberg haulage sponsored machine. Blair Eulenberg out of Stratford. Ashton still holding on to that second spot. Then we go back to 971. Jaden Ward in third. Behind him Keegan Levine in the 5W. Then we'll go back to Thomas Stanaway, Daryl Wallace, Alex Hill, Simon Joblin. But our race winner, 28, just Ashton gave it all. Eulenberg got across the line by about half a car length. Then we'd go back to Jaden Ward, Levine in the 5, Thomas Stanaway. Then we'll go back to Daryl Wallace. And behind Wallace, I'm picking a Simon Joblin in the 72P. Alex Hill, 95N. And then I would have lost who it was because Quinn Ryan was in the mix there. Let's have a look. Blair Eulenberg takes out the win.
0.09 of a second.
Wow, that was that thing of Ashton, Dylan Ashton. It's a quick car. And then we go back to Jaden Ward in that third spot. Keegan Levine, the 5W, taking out 4th. 87B, Thomas Stanaway in 5th. 557C, Daryl Wallace in 6th. 95N, Alex Hill in that 7th spot. Simon Joblin, 72P, 8th. 24C, Zach West, 9th. Top 10, Malcolm Nartai, 19C. Then we go back down to 11th spot, 52P, Scott Joblin, 9B, Adam Groom, Kendall Ashton in the 23 car, came home 13th. Riley Evans from Christchurch in the 7C takes 14th. Ben Hearn in behind him in the 15th spot in the 79C. 16th will be 118, Bryce Steiner. 17th, 991C, Harley Robb. 18th, 144G, Tim's Ross. 32C, Mitch Berry takes out 19th. Peter Field, 27C, takes out the 20th spot.
race. We're all side by side-ish. We got the green. They got the green before they came on the straight. Well, that saved them getting screwing up the start. They catch them by surprise. Catch them there. But, so Marsden leads us down there. Bork is down low. He's trying a different line to everyone else. Harris, the current Canterbury champ. How we let a Greymouth car come over and take the champ. Mind you, he's ex-Canterbury, so we've got to be nice and assertive, sort of. Giving the 87 car a bit of a push down the back straight. McCartney to the inside in the 93. We're 3 wide down the front straight. The pace looks like it's in the 55 car. As the 87 out wide just gets a little bit loose, but can he carry the momentum and the speed? They haven't really disengaged. Bork has got through into third. The 2-5-2 car's coming through as well on the outside line. Oh, we're leaning on each other. Mid-pack, Hawley there off the side of the 93. The 197 of Jack with the 17 car there looking to duck to the inside of him. You can certainly see some of those cars have figured out how to get around that low part of the track.
They do seem to have figured it out, and no one's really getting away in this race. It's staying quite tight, isn't it?
Well, Harris has got the best. He's managed to get through.
Oh, big leap in mid-air there. I think that was a 17 car.
Yeah, it's not horsepower doing that. I'll let you know that. As Marsden there looking to come back at the 55 car. I think he's got the run on him here. Bork is there. Back to Hawley. Bork is going to have a run here at Marsden. They're going to commit to that high line, or mid to high line. It seems if you can cut down low and then come back through off the exit of 2 and of 4, there is a bit where it plateaus out.
Yeah,
but you've got to know where you've got to.
It's pretty much millimetre precision though. You get it wrong and you're going to bounce and lose pace.
But Marsden there had a different line there. He looks like he's come through into
3 wide again.
3 wide. They're all squeezing. Oh, Marsden's
bang!
Oh, and he's over. Saw that happening.
Someone closed the blinds.
The referee's saying red, red, red to the drivers and trying not to laugh in the middle of it. I don't know if that's... Well, when you weren't going to yield, that was what was going to happen. So
there's a reason why we mention 3 wide when they're 3 wide, isn't there? You know, because when you get 3 wide, stuff happens.
You can go 3 wide, you can go 4 wide, but at a certain point you do have to realise...
Someone's got to yield, yeah.
If you're leaning on them...
Oh dear, so we're going to sort out that mini stock and pop down to the pits for a quick interview.
Yeah, I'm down here with Dylan Ashton. We've been chasing him around the pits for quite some time. Hey, you're absolutely pumped, mate. You come down to shake all of these guys' hand, and rightly so.
Yeah, it's a hard race, that's for sure. You know, first time in a super down here. Got the call up last night. Yeah, you're doing battle. I flew in. As of midnight tonight, I've been up for 24 hours, so it's been a long day, but I'm glad to do 3 races. Had a DNF in the first one, but yeah, that last one's paid off, and yeah, I'm pumped. Happy as.
Yeah. Dylan, you seen the white flag? Talk us through that last lap.
Oh, I knew Blair was in striking distance, and I knew he'd done well all night, so I didn't want to take him out of contention, but I was like, I want to win this race, so I just had a big dive into turn 3 and just clipped him and got his left rear, but didn't quite have the legs to pull out of the corner and get him. But hey, that's racing. He was pumped, he was happy as, we're all happy, so yeah. No, it's cool.
And that's awesome, because that's true sportsmanship right there. You know you could have taken him out for the win, but you decided to let him go.
Yeah, it's all about the hitting, crashing and that, but when you can race side rail by side rail with these fellas, these top boys, me being a young fella, it just goes to show something, and you know, I know they won't go blow me out of the water either, you know, if I don't do it to them. So, but yeah, Rubbing's racing and they agree too, so it's real cool, yeah. No.
Well, listen, we know that you're pumped. We know that you want to go and talk to a few other drivers. I mean, put it there, mate. You've totally deserved it. You've been up for 24 hours. That was an epic race. Well done.
Cheers, thank you very much. Hey, just a shout out to Mum and Dad. They come down. Long way to come for them. I flew in this morning, and all my sponsors and crew, yeah, just wouldn't be able to do it without them. All Christchurch, Woodford, Glen and Steve for putting this meeting on and giving me the opportunity to do it, you know. It's a dream come true, really, so cheers, eh?
Awesome, well done.
What a top young fella he is.
That looked like a giant possum in the headlights and about 4 cans of Red Bull deep, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's got adrenaline pumping. He will
and a great attitude.
He will sleep like a giant baby tonight, but he will be racing hard tomorrow. The 87 car has been put in. They're doing the countdown. And it was funny to watch. The referee did the countdown there, and nobody went on go. They
Ian Burson would have, not Ian Burson, Jack Burson would have smoked all of them.
Well, we've rolled one and we've rolled the grumpy one too.
Oh.
It's
getting a little bit sideways there, but
Bork in the lead, back to Hawley with Harris. Yeah, they'll all be a bit timid going back in the pits when they see Mr. Marsden. The beard and man bun will be flying. As it is Bork leading us down to Enviro Waste. 4 laps to go on this race. Well, they walk 3 laps as they cross the start-finish line. They're all just gone to Indian file motion. No one's getting brave to go down to that pole line anymore, although Bright did drop a wheel over it to see what would happen. Just about C-anchored him. Weir goes to the outside of him, passes him down past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand, and Jack has a look as well. It is Bork, but he is being hounded here by Hawley. And Shady having a look at the 55 car of Harris. He's gone to the inside. Oh, he's found he put the right rear into the bump, jumped the back end of the car up. So out in front though, it is Bork, followed by Hawley. They have got the white flag. 1 lap to go, and Shady pulls out, going for a fast and furious move on the 55 car. There's Dominic Toretto would say, don't go too early. Out in front though, it is Bork. He's going to be challenged here by Hawley, but Hawley hooks himself on the rut coming off the corner. So the 24 car will take the win, the 84 will be second, and Harrison, the 55, will be third. That was our adult mini stock. Saloons are in the chute now. They've had a few minutes to wait. They would have seen the mini stock roll right by the pit gate. Yeah. Go, please don't let that be us.
But just while we've got at the end of that race and before the next one starts, we do have some points here. I won't go through all of them, but these are the points for the Super Stocks after 3 rounds of the Battle of the Stocks. In the individual competition, the leading driver is Blair Uhlenberg in the 28S on 95 points. He's 8 ahead of Jaden Ward in the 971 on 87. Thomas Stanaway third on 85. And then 2 tied on 76, Simon Joblin and Scott Joblin. Then we go back to Malcolm Nata on 73, Harley Robb on 72, Adam Groom on 64, Tim Ross also on 64, and Zach West rounding out the top 10 on 59 points. That's in the individuals. And for the all-important teams points, Jaden Ward and Tim Ross are leading on 151 points. Scott Joblin and Malcolm Natai on 149 points. Third is Harley Robb and Simon Joblin on 148. Fourth is Thomas Tanaway and Zach West on 144. Then we go back to Blair Uhlenberg and Riley Evans on 136. And it's quite a jump then back to the 6th place pairing. So those are your top pairs at the moment, Jaden Ward and Tim Ross. And we've got Chad Ace for a quick interview in the pits.
Yeah, guys, Chad, I'm really sorry I've actually hunted you down. You've got a hot dog and a drink coming, but hey, talk us through your night. You haven't had much luck tonight.
Nah, 0 luck tonight, but it is what it is. We just sort of ended up with, we had a great first race. Went from, dead last 32nd, I think, through to 14th or something. The car was hauling and I was really happy with it. So, but I noticed it was getting a little bit warm towards the end of the race, and sort of came in and found a massive hole in the front and the back of the radiator, like something's gone straight through it. So we tried to patch it up if needed and all sorts of magical stuff there, but it just kept leaking. So rather than risk wrecking my motor completely, I chose to sort of park it up for the rest of the night. We'll see what we can do tomorrow. But see what tomorrow brings, and whatever happens, happens.
So unlucky, Chad, eh? But I mean, like we said off air, that's just what racing is.
Yeah, that's a risk we all take coming all the way down here, but that's what makes the journey fun, you know.
Listen, go eat your hot dog, mate. You enjoy it. Hopefully we can see you back tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
So you'd be a brave man to bet against the 17 car after his performance in the previous heats tonight and off the front row here, but let's see what happens. We're green racing and away we go. Billy Lee keeping Blair Lee honest with a good run up the inside, but Blair Lee goes high, and that 17 car works a treat out there where there's heaps of grip and plenty of room, and Blair Lee takes the lead of this race. Dutchy in the 72 coming up very quickly down the back straight there to make up multiple places from near the back. So it's Billy Lee Woodhouse in the 117 car, the 17 of Blair Lee, jinking it out. but Billy Lee actually getting the nose in front momentarily through turn 2 there.
I don't think it's Billy in the car.
Ah, don't you?
Well, the 71 car is not driving like you'd expect it to drive. I reckon there's a father-daughter switch going on between the cars.
Yeah, you could well be right, because the 117 car is absolutely taking the race to the 17 of Blair Lee, who is having to hang on every single turn and almost getting pushed off the racetrack, you'd have to say. So there's certain aggression in the 117 car that isn't becoming of Billy Lee Woodhouse.
But
and as you say,
71 car hasn't moved forward and did start a long way off the back.
It did indeed. So maybe there's been a swap there. Either way, it's a great battle for the lead and for second place of this race. You can see the rear steer on that 17 car working hard out of turn 4 that time round. Dutchie's coming through big time in the 72 car. He's the quickest car out there at the moment. And it's a fair old battle. Will Dutchie be able to catch these two at the front? With race only halfway through, it could happen. But the pace that Blair Lee and whoever it is in the 117 car,
it's Willie.
probably Willie Woodhouse, are setting. It's going to be a tall order. Here's Matt Peterson, the 433, coming back at Dutchie as well. Those two having a great battle for third place now. Ashton Osborne's come through from near the back of the field, and he's making up some good time and dragging Brett McGlash with him. Out front, there's nothing between Blair Lee and Willie Woodhouse in the 117. I had to think to say that.
I'll eat my hat if it's Billy in the car.
Yeah, it's a great battle between these two. Whoever's driving that 117 car is giving it absolutely everything and a little bit more. They're both trying to keep the car low under the berm. Matt Peterson hooks the berm there as he goes through in third place, and it unsettles the car majorly, but Dutchie unable to take advantage. You get the feeling that Blair Lee's got a bit defensive now. He's trying to keep it really tidy, really clean. Oh, and he bounces. He made some mistake there. Bounces around through turn 1, and that's... but Willie Woodhouse unable to capitalise on that. I suspect the white flag's going to be coming out any second, because the lap counter said just 1 to go, but Ryan doesn't seem to have given them the white flag, so another lap will be done. Blair Lee. Perhaps it's been turned into a 12-lap race instead of a 10-lap race. And, no one's reprogrammed the countdown machine. So Blair Lee leading them through still, with absolutely glued to the back of the 17 car is Willie Woodhouse. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Kinder. It is a 12-lap feature. So there you go. Cross start finish now for the second to last time. Blair Lee in that 17 Stealth Chassis Kiwi Auto Spare sponsored car is still keeping the 117 car at bay. It's been a hell of a drive from Blair Lee, and a hell of a drive from Mr. X, Mrs. X, the Stig, whoever it happens to be in the 117. So we're in the final lap now, past the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand. They're just about at the point of being able to lap the back of the field. Tap on the back of the 17 car there. Hurry up, says 117, but 17 has track position and takes the win.
Oh, gets T-boned by the 117. Yeah, that's Willie driving it.
So, yeah, make of that what you will, but exciting, close racing it certainly was.
And I guess for all the huff and puff about the various chassis, the old love lady still goes all right.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Of course, that's the Xperi North chassis.
Oh boy, so an exciting saloon feature there to finish off their night's racing. Just one race left to go. It's Youth Mini Stocks for their final turn of the night. How many laps is that one going to be, Kinder? As the usual 10. Oh, good. Okay.
Stop like this.
lucky to take that win. Okay, youth mini stocks. Jared?
Yeah. I can't see the list of names either. Anyway, the 88 car leads us down into turn 1. He's got the Hustos car in the 10 with Higgins, followed by McCartney. Down the back straight there. Of course, this is their 4th race. They've all had 3 races tonight. But that many of them showed up, we couldn't race them all together.
They'll be racing again tomorrow night.
As the 88R car of Cohen Wright leads us. The 1 car looks to the inside of the 4, midway through the pack there. So Hustos sitting there in 2nd with Higgins 3rd, McCartney. So just sort of almost got this little consistent gap between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, although the 4 car coming back, and leans on the 972 of Jimmy Crawford and puts himself on the wall. Don't know if they watched the adult mini stock, that doesn't normally work well. As the 4 car of Clay Dawson, been quick all night, coming through, bounces across the rut in front of the 26 car, bounces off the wall. Okay, so someone put the ping pong set up in the 4 car. Out in front though, still the 88 car of Cohen Wright, followed by Jackson Hustos and the 18 of Higgins. Real bunch back in the further back. We've got 2 real defined groups of racing out there at the moment, Tony.
Yeah.
As the 1 car comes through on the 26. As 52 car, good to see that back out there with a straight front bumper. The 21 car's been spun to the infield. Mason Anderson will get that thing fired up and roll back out. Across the start finish line, it's still the 88R car, followed by the 10C. The 21 car will rejoin. Red light. Red. And that'll be...
Oof. Someone didn't quite get on the brakes quick enough. 131.
So everybody stopped, and then the 31 car. Boom.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, green.
The 5 car hasn't started, so what happens out of all of this? We wait for a second, give him plenty of time. There we go, red.
A red.
It's all good to race, but you still need the brakes for the corners.
4, 3, 2, 1, green.
The countdown's getting longer and longer as you listen to the referee let them start. And it is the 88 car leading us with Colin Wright, led from the start, back to Hustos with Higgins. Then we have the 98 kind of 1 car of Deegan Butcher, battling it out with the 4 car who just kamikazed him of Clay Dawson. You almost get the impression that Clay might work on his car because he's absolutely committed to diving into the corners with it. But our 88 car has got a fairly good lead at the moment. Cohen Wright just over a second over Hustos. In fact, it actually looks realistic to the exact. Alright, move through on us. Just hear the little tyres howling out there. The track's definitely slipped up a bit more to their liking. As our race leader now into the back markers goes through on the 58 car, trying to stay high on the track, carry that momentum through Enviro Waste. 1 lap to go, white flag. The 10C car is catching him slightly. They've pulled over a big gap over Higgins, but the Butcher in the 1 car is definitely catching Higgins. It's just whether or not we run out of real estate. Down the back straight we go. Into Enviro Waste for the final time. It is car 88 of Cohen Wright. Takes the checkered flag, final heat of the mini stocks tonight, followed by Jackson Hustos and the 18 of Luke Higgins. And Tony,
some good
racing
like
there.
us. That's us done for the night. Thank you everyone who's been here at Coke Woodford Glen watching night 1 of the Suck It Up Battle of the Stocks for 2023. If you've been watching on the live stream, courtesy of the Pits TV, thank you for tuning in, whatever part of the world you are in. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you'll come back tomorrow. We'll be back to do this all over again, except it'll be even better because we'll have the TWS shootout at the start of the night and we'll have the Canterbury Super Saloon Championship as well on the program.
we don't get a night off.
We don't get a night off. No,
I
we've got to work again tomorrow night.
I need a corporate box. I think that's what we need.
Yeah, we need a couch and a bar fridge in here, I think. So we're going to sign off from up here in the commentary box. Thank you so much for listening to us blabber on tonight, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Bianca will be down in the pits.
You sure will catch us tomorrow. And listen, if you're going up to a corporate box with a couch, I'm coming. But listen, everybody, we hope that you've enjoyed this night of racing. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've had some really good drag races. We've had some really, really bad luck with a lot of DNFs as well. Like the boys upstairs said, tomorrow it's going to be totally different. We do have that top 10 shootout to look forward to, and I'm definitely pumped for that. If you're wanting to know what the points are and where all the drivers are standing in terms of the top 10, check out the Woodford Glen's page. They will post everything tonight. They have been going through the results with you, but if you want to take a screenshot of that so you know what's going on tomorrow, the best place to check would be the page. So that's us. We're signing out now. Sam Ashton, we're going to talk to you soon. But listen, we hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be here tomorrow about 5:30. Enjoy the rest of your evening.